on a clear and crisp 85-degree day here at Monte Vista High School in Danville. I'm Kyle Floyd here with Ethan Siegel to bring you your latest edition of Alameda Merchants Baseball on the Merchants Radio Network today. We're excited to bring this call to you. Two good teams. Alameda got a get-right game yesterday, picked up their 14th win, matching up against the Crawdads, who, Ethan, we haven't seen in a long time. The standings are very tight. All the games are going to matter, especially against a team as good as this one.
Yeah, you mentioned it. We saw this Crawdads team 4 times in the first week of the season, or 3 times in the first week and another time in June, but haven't seen them since June 19th. It's been over 3 weeks since we've last played the Crawdads, but both of these teams have made big efforts in the standings since then. After a bit of a mid-season lull for the Merchants, they're right back in it, a half game back of these Crawdads. This is going to be a battle for first place in the CCL North. We'll take a quick break during the national anthem and then come back after and preview more of this battle for first place.
With that national anthem now being complete, we'll bring you lineups and first pitch in a moment here from Monte Vista High School. Merchants trying to keep it going offensively. They'll send out Dom Nahar in the leadoff spot. Behind him, hitting second, is Cy Turner at second base. The number 3 hitter is the DH Jackson Nystrom. Batting cleanup in right field is Aiden Tackless. Behind him is the shortstop Brendan O'Sullivan, making his second appearance of the summer. After that, the catcher Riley Winchell. Number 7 hitter is the third baseman Chase Dittmer. Batting 8th at first base is Angelo Luna. And batting 9th, rounding out the lineup in left field, is Jack Bollinger. They're going to try their hand today against the right-handed pitching Brady Wilson. Sophomore out of Sacramento City College is making his 6th appearance of the year, his 5th start. He's thrown 11 1/3 innings, given up 12 hits, ERA above 7. He's struck out 9 and walked 3, but he's been much better as of late. A scoreless inning, his last appearance against Slow, and before that, 3 innings of 1-run ball against the Seagulls. We know the talent on this pitching staff, and the Crawdads are hoping to get something positive out of Wilson today.
They certainly are. We've seen Wilson a few times as a third baseman, seen him only once so far as a pitcher this season, and it was a tough outing for Wilson all the way back on June 6th in the first week of the CCL summer. He threw 5 outs and gave up 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts, and was credited with the loss in that game. So far between these two teams, they've played those 4 games in June, splitting the season series, but they'll get awfully familiar with each other over the final few weeks of the CCL season. This is the first of 5 meetings over the next 2.5 weeks between these teams, and sitting at first and second in the CCL standings. If one of those teams is able to beat up on one another with such a tight race at the top, the other one could fall out of playoff positioning entirely. All of these games are going to be so big.
We just finished 7 games against the Legends. Now Nahar leads off first game in a while against Walnut Creek as he flips this one in the foul territory down the right field line, and Donnelly races into foul territory and makes a great catch against the fence. First pitch swinging Dominic Mahar fouls one out to right. Great catch by Joey Donnelly. Will complete the defense for the Crawdads. In left field is Casey Levitt McGee. In center field, Jared Medham. We just got introduced to Donnelly in right. Around the infield, it's Riley Leininger, Nico DeFazio, Ryan Ellis, and John Ewens. Behind the plate, catching is Zach Justice. He receives the first pitch to Cy Turner on the inside corner for a strike.
We've talked about all season how good this Merchants defense is, second in the league in CCL fielding percentage at 97.3%.
Turner lines one up the middle, picked up there by Ellis, but bobbled, and the throw to first is going to be too late. So what else is new? Cy Turner gets on base. He's been doing a lot of that in the last few days. We see him up in the number 2 spot now. So 1 on, 1 out in the top of the first for Alameda.
Well, right as I was about to say, the only team ahead of the Merchants in that fielding percentage category is the Crawdads, who sit in first with a .975 fielding percent. We saw some great fielding on that first swing by Nahar to Donnelly. Not as much that time. Second base had some trouble with the play, and as a result, Turner safe on first.
First pitch swinging is Jackson Nystrom. He pops this into right field. Is going to fall in front of Donnelly for a base hit. Little bloop single for Jackson Nystrom, and just that quickly, the Merchants have 2 on and 1 out for the cleanup hitter, Aiden Tackless.
Kyle, they are hunting Brady Wilson early in these at-bats. That's 2 of the first 3 hitters we've seen swinging at the first pitch. And so far, we haven't seen an at-bat last longer than 2 pitches.
We saw this a lot from the Merchants yesterday, swinging early and often. It was to the advantage of Joseph Lee. Today, Brady Wilson in some early trouble. Turner leads off second, Nystrom leads off first. Here's the first pitch to Aiden Tackless. This time he's taking for a strike. Fastball. Tackless in his 6th game now with the Merchants. Comfortably hitting in that leadoff spot, in that cleanup spot, since he has joined the team. Looking to drive in a run here. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball drops in there for a strike to bring the count to 0-2. Good pitch.
Just to offer a not a correction, but to do some housekeeping, they did rule the Cy Turner reaching as an error. So it's 1 hit and 1 error that have 2 runners on currently for the Merchants, who are looking to strike first.
Now here's the 0-2 from Wilson. Fastball swung on and fouled back. Count will hold at 0-2. We've been speaking for a few games, Ethan, about trying to get this offense going, and it's been guys like Turner and Tackless who have joined this lineup. Young Goldberg has come on, guys in the left-handed hitter's batter's box that have really, really come on for the Merchants. Trying to see that continue here. Here's another 0-2 to Tackless. Fastball stays inside. Count is now 1-2. Tackless hitting at just 158 this summer. In the game yesterday, went 0 for 4, a walk, a strike, and he drove in a run. Trying to drive in another run here. Numbers don't do justice to how well he has looked in the box. Right now it's 1-2 to Wilson. Here's the pitch. Both runners go. Throws down to third. Turner is out at third base. Dan Mills is protesting. He wants him to check with the home plate umpire, Felix Zhang. It looked to me like Turner got his hand in just ahead of the tag, but that is not the way that they call it on the field. Umpire Alex Dickerson had the call. He was behind the play, but he said that Turner's hand did not make it in front of the tag. So Nystrom is now in scoring position at second base, but now the count is 2-2 with 2 out in the top of the first to Nystrom. It's a huge call.
Absolutely massive. It looked to me like he was in there safely too, and Cy Turner was gunning for stolen base number 13 on the season.
Breaking ball swung on and missed, and just like that, this inning is over. First and second with 1 out in a span of just a couple pitches leads to the Merchants being retired. We're going to go to the bottom of the first here. Still scoreless in Monte Vista. Back live, almost set for the bottom of the first inning here in Danville. And Ethan, I know you wanted to offer your perspective on what you saw on that stolen base of Turner.
Yeah, I thought Turner was in there, but just the larger point is that the inning just in the span of 2 pitches went from you had 2 on with 1 out to suddenly inning over. And despite the get-right win yesterday, 7-1 victory, it's still a theme we've seen over with this team for the past week. It's just runners left on base, and that time it was only 1 runner left on, but you might as well call it 2 considering a runner thrown out on the base pass. And the Merchants have continued to be a team that puts runners on the base pass even during their losing skid. But the clutch hitting and the situational hitting for this team has really been lacking in recent days. And yes, you got the win yesterday, but it's got to be a point of focus if you're TC Fairfield and this staff, especially against a Crawdads team that's not going to give you that many free passes.
And in some ways, this is part and parcel of being such an aggressive team on the base pass. That time it was left up to the umpire, but 8 innings to correct that, get some of those runs home. For now, it's the bottom of the first. Merchants will start behind the righty A.J. Gamboa, who's been a bit of a Swiss Army knife for them throughout the season. You've seen him in the middle innings at the end. Today he's getting the start, his 6th appearance, his 3rd game started, his 3rd open. He's thrown 7 1/3 innings, given up 8 hits. His ERA is sitting at 3.68. He has become one of the more reliable arms for Coach T.C. Fairfield, and he will begin the day on the bump against the leadoff hitter. It's the second baseman, Ryan Ellis, a left-handed hitter. Gets the sign and fires, and the first pitch is a fastball for strike 1.
I think it's really interesting in the past 2 days that we've seen Airhorn and Gamboa be named as the 2 starters. 2 guys we've traditionally seen coming out of the bullpen, but must-win games, and you're going to throw your best pitchers early in these games.
The 0-1 is fouled back. That's such a great call, especially with the blow-up that we saw against Menlo Park. You really want to make sure we get off to a good start on the mound.
Gamboa is going to offer fastball, curveball, changeup, slider.
He's ahead 0-2 right now to Ryan Ellis. Here's in for the sign. Now he kicks and fires. That one stays outside to bring the count to 1-2. Ellis playing in his 20th game this summer, hitting at .211, on base of .400. He's got 1 homer and 11 RBI. 15 walks in that leadoff spot, setting the table for Walnut Creek. And he takes the 1-2 outside. Now the count is even at 2-2.
You mentioned those season-long stats, but I got to be honest, Ellis has really struggled in recent days. Over the past 7 days, hitting just 125 this week. Despite the Crawdads surging into first place, Ellis has not been a major contributor to that winning.
See what he does with the 2-2. It's on its way. Fastball lined into center field. Clean base hit up the middle for Ryan Ellis. Seems like he heard you, Ethan, and he took a fastball on 2-2, and it dropped in front of Nahar in center.
Well, it's like clockwork. Glad to get our usual color commentator announcer jinx out of the way here on the bottom of the first.
Waste any time.
And the thing is, when it's neon color, it happens immediately. It's the next pitch that it comes back. And right as I was saying, Ellis having a tough past week, he shakes it off and smokes one out into right center. Good start for him, and not the way you want to start your day if you're Gamboa, who was so good when we saw him 3 days ago against the Legends through 2 innings of scoreless ball, struck out 2, faced 10 batters in that game.
Now it's the DH Cam Calvillo, number 2 hitter for the Crawdads, who takes the first pitch breaking ball outside for ball 1. Calvillo getting his 13th start of the summer, batting at .256, no homers, 3 RBI. Ellis leads off first here in the bottom of the first. Here's the 1-0 from Gamboa. Swing and a foul tip held on by the catcher Winchell to even the count.
A Crawdads team that the headliner is, they lead the CCL in runs scored per game, over 7.5 per contest, first in overall runs, coming up on 200 for the summer. A large reason for that, they just don't strike out much, less than 7 per game, best in the league.
Calvillo takes the 1-1 on the outside corner for strike 2. We saw Gamboa get to 2 strikes on Ellis that first at bat, and to your point, was unable to put him away. Tough team to go down swinging, but even if the ball gets put in play weakly, you trust the defense behind you. Now Gamboa checks the runner over at first, dives back safely. Defense for the Merchants in left field is Jack Bollinger. In center, it's Nahar. In right field, it's Aiden Tackless. Around the infield, it's Dittmer, O'Sullivan, Turner, and Luna. Behind the plate is Riley Winchell, who is just about ready for a fastball grounded into right field for a base hit. Ellis will stop at second, so first and second now here with nobody out in the bottom of the first.
It's a great piece of hitting by Calvillo with 2 strikes, taking that pitch the other way. And we've seen these hitters fall behind in counts early, but remain poised and adjusted to the different offerings. I mentioned the variety of pitch types that Gamboa throws, and so far, Gamboa's a hard pitcher to be able to unlock, but so far, the Crawdads offense has had the codes to encryption, and they've been getting on base early.
Gamboa, a deep pitching mix. When he's able to control it and mix it up effectively, he can be tough to get to. That time, Calvillo, to your point, just took a good pitch on the inside corner and found the hole on the right side. Now, after a brief conference on the mound with the catcher Winchell, he's ready for the number 3 hitter, Joey Donnelly. Big left-handed hitter stands in against Gamboa with first and second. Checks Ellis at second. Now he fires the first pitch just a bit low for ball 1.
Donnelly's having a freak type of season this summer for the Crawdads, hitting .410, which leads all CCL hitters, obviously leads all the Crawdads as well. 20 runs batted in, top 10 in that category in the league as well.
Somebody you circle in the lineup, for sure.
Somebody we'll certainly see in next Wednesday's All-Star game.
From Gamboa, nice breaking ball, but this one misses as well, so 2-0. A couple good pitches from Gamboa, but not getting the call from home plate umpire Felix Zhang. More adversity in the early going for AJ. Now he looks in for the sign on the 2-0, checks the runner, and he's ready. Here it is. 2-1 is grounded foul down the first base side. Donnelly has really turned it up this summer. This spring was not nearly as successful offensively, hitting under 200, but as you mentioned, Ethan, he has been the standard in the CCL. Big out to try to get here in the early going. Count is 2-1. Ellis leads off second. Calvillo off first. Here's the pitch from Gamboa. That's grounded to second. Double play ball. Turner flips to short, and the return throw to first is not in time. So 1 out from Gamboa. The speedy Donnelly was able to make it ahead of the throw, so first and third with 1 out now on the bottom of the first for the cleanup hitter, Jared Medham.
Center fielder, number 6, Jared.
It's the smart play by Cy Turner, trying to go for the double play, and we mentioned he made his season debut at second base in yesterday's game, his 6th position playing defensively. I was looking through the stats after the game, and after playing 6 positions, can you believe Cy Turner just 1 defensive error all season long?
Sure-handed on that play, just hit a little too slowly to double him up at first. Donnelly, that is. Donnelly off first, Ellis off third. Here's the first pitch to Medham on the outside corner for a strike. Would be huge for the confidence of this team and Gamboa to get out of this with just 1 run or no runs. You take another ground ball like the one we just got. Here's the 0-1. Runner goes from first, and Winchell will concede that runner. So the double play now out of order, second and third for the Crawdads.
Some early trouble with 2 in scoring position, less than 1 out for Medham. Medham's already got 17 RBI this summer.
Long look in for Gamboa. Now he gets his sign and he's ready with the 1-1. Breaking ball stays up high over the head of Medham.
It was actually going right towards his head, and if he hadn't ducked, it would have knocked off his batting helmet.
Some uncharacteristic command issues being shown by Gamboa. Perhaps unnerved by the tight strike zone in the early going. Right now it's second and third. 1 out for Medham. Another long look in for Gamboa. Now he's ready with the 2-1. Pitch is down low. Now it's 3-1. You saw one of these snowball innings early on this past Wednesday, Ethan, and we're in danger of seeing one of those in the early going.
While yes, you do have a base open, you never want to load the bases for John Ewens, who currently is swinging the bat on deck. Another one of these dangerous hitters at the top of CCL stats.
Here's the 3-1 fast low, and that's ball 4. So now the bases are loaded for a guy you don't want to have the bases loaded for as you miss baseman John Ewens, and that's going to bring Coach Fairfield out to the mound.
Yeah, an early mound visit for TC Fairfield, and we've had to see too many of those recently. As in the first and second innings, TC Fairfield making that walk over to the pitcher's mound, and this is a huge situation, and It's early enough, and with the situation that if you're the Merchants defense, I'm sure TC Fairfield is talking about, are you trying to play for the runner at home? Yes, it's a 0-0 score here in just the first inning, but bases loaded with potential force out at home, and Ewan's up at the plate, and we can read just some of his stat line. He's hitting .375 this summer with 2 homers and a team-leading 22 runs batted in. That's 4th best in the CCL. His batting average also 4th best in the CCL, but a guy who's been on a tear the past week. I mentioned Ellis has been struggling in the last 7 days. Not the case for Ewans. He's hitting .471 this past week.
So tough job for Gamboa here with the bases loaded. Ellis is at third, Donnelly is at second, Medham is at first. At conference included the entire infield as well, maybe talking about some signs with the runner on second. Outfield straight up, first baseman is even with the bag. So here's the first pitch from Gamboa. Breaking ball dots the outside corner for strike one. Good pitch from Gamboa to get ahead in the count.
We saw that early this inning. Gamboa was able to get ahead in some of the counts, but these Crawdad hitters have fought so much when getting behind.
Here's the 0-1, another breaking ball and another strike on the outside corner. That pitch has been good for Gamboa so far. Now he's finally getting the call. So ahead 0-2 to a tough hitter. To your point, Ethan, it's been about finishing, not about getting to 2 strikes, but to getting to strike 3. Here's the 0-2, another breaking ball. This one is popped into short left field. In is Bollinger, racing in toward the foul line, now in foul territory, and he makes the catch, and the runner is going to have to hold at third. A great job from Gamboa there to get out number 2 and to hold the bases loaded.
And a great job by Bollinger, who had to get on his horse to get over and be able to make that play in foul territory. He was running as soon as that ball was hit off the bat and had to range all the way over to make a crucial second out.
One more out to get for Gamboa is going to be the catcher, Zach Justice. 0 for 4 yesterday, scored a run, hitting at 150 on the summer. Here's the first pitch from Gamboa. Another breaking ball drops in there for a strike. Seeing the slider, and now look like a big loopier curveball that he's thrown confidently into the zone.
Yeah, he's been able to locate that breaking ball so well, but you got to be careful leaving those high in the zone. If I'm Gamboa, I'm now showing fastballs after throwing 4 consecutive pitches that you mentioned, breaking balls looping into the zone.
Let you know where he goes with the 0-1. Another breaking ball. This one is smacked out into right field, but playable for Tackless. He's under it, and he makes the catch. So A.J. Gamboa does not allow this inning to snowball. He gets 2 outs with the bases loaded and retires the side. So still scoreless. We'll go to the top of the second here at Monte Vista High. So an eventful first inning on both sides, but it leads to no runs. We start the top of the second. Brady Wilson will come back up.
Yeah, let's go back.
It'll be O'Sullivan, Winchell, and Dittmer due up for the Ledges. On a great Sunday for baseball. You hear the sounds of the children here in the ballpark and all of the fans. Just a great atmosphere.
Leading off the second inning for the Merchant, shortstop number 4, Brendan O'Sullivan.
And as you hear the PA announcer announce, it is the shortstop, Brendan O'Sullivan, making just his second start of the season. We saw him yesterday. He slid into shortstop very nicely. Defensively, made all the plays. Went 0 for 4 as I mentioned, but hit a couple balls hard. Now he takes the first pitch from Wilson, a breaking ball on the inside corner for a strike. O'Sullivan is back home, born near his home. He's born in Walnut Creek, California, facing the Walnut Creek Crawdads. Swings and misses at the 0-1 down low. Another breaking ball from Wilson. Seeing both Gamboa and Wilson go into that slider to great effect. Now O'Sullivan taps the plate. And he's ready for the delivery from Wilson. This one is lifted into right field. Donnelly is there, though, and he's able to make the catch for the first out of the inning.
We've already seen plenty of hard-hit balls in this game and plenty of balls into the outfield, both on the ground and in the air. It's been a busy day already for the corner outfielders on both sides of this ball game, and so far we've seen Merchant hitters really hunt early on in at-bats against Brady Wilson. That time, swinging at the third pitch, but something this Merchant team does so well is take pitchers deep into counts, spoil pitches away. That hasn't been the case so far, and we get another swing on the first pitch, and this one should be playable.
The catcher, first baseman Ewens is over into foul territory, and he makes the catch there for out number 2 of the inning.
And as a result, we've seen Brady Wilson throw 14 pitches, 12 of which have been strikes, which has been huge in his favor. But only 14 pitches thus far through 6 batters in this game. If you're averaging under 3 pitches per batter, it certainly gives you the ability to have some length. We haven't seen too many pitchers this summer across the CCL pitch into the 6th or 7th inning.
Right now it's the third baseman, Chase Dittmer, takes the first pitch, a fastball, down the middle for strike 1.
Dittmer 1 for 7 against the Crawdads this season. I mentioned these teams haven't played in a while, so there might be some refamiliarizing between these two squads early in this contest.
0-1 stays outside to even the count. Dittmer, one of those hitters trying to get right game for Alameda yesterday. Dittmer still struggling a little bit. Averaged at 186 this summer. 0 for 2 with a couple strikeouts yesterday. He pops this one out to right field. More action for Donnelly. He settles under it and makes the catch. A much quicker inning this time for Brady Wilson. Merchants go 1, 2, 3. We're off to the bottom of the second, still scoreless.
We remain scoreless.
As Gamboa fires his final warm-up pitches, we're almost ready for the bottom of the second inning here. First inning, the Crawdads left the bases loaded. Gamboa, some good pitching to get out of that bases loaded 1-out jam. Looking for a smoother time in the bottom of the second. It's going to be Leininger, DeFazio, and Levitt McGee due up for the Crawdads.
Leading off the bottom of the second for your Crawdads, third baseman, number 11, Riley Leininger.
Leininger, a left-handed hitter, getting his 24th start on the summer. Stalwart of this lineup for Walnut Creek. Hitting at 236, a 396 on base. No homers, but he's driven in 11 runs. Very deep lineup that the Crawdads have. Now the first pitch from Gamboa stays outside for ball 1.
Leininger, one of a handful, plenty of D1 players on this Crawdads team this summer. Leininger, an SEC guy, plays his college ball at Oklahoma. Sooners made it all the way to the NCAA postseason this year as Leininger takes a tempting pitch on the outside part for a ball. But Oklahoma made it all the way to the Chapel Hill Regional where they lost in a handful of games after a 38-22 regular season, and Leininger will go into his sophomore year and have a chance to help out one of the SEC's most formidable squads.
Now 2-0 is a fastball on the outside corner, so Gamboa gets back into the count at 2-1. That looked like it may have been a little off the plate, but he got the call there. Interesting, 3 consecutive fastballs from Gamboa after getting out of the last inning with all breaking balls. Now here's the 2-1 to Leininger. Breaking ball this time stays outside, so he's behind 3-1. Impressed with the ability from Gamboa last time to get out of trouble, but certainly don't want to have to see him do so too many times.
Yeah, it's been a heavy dosage of breaking balls so far, and Leininger is happy to take them. He's top 10 in the CCL in walks this summer, leads the team with 17 base on balls.
Here's the 3-1 from AJ. Swing on and miss. Fastball that Leininger was behind. So now that runs the count full at 3-2. Infield and outfield straight up for Leininger. Still a beautiful day here at Monte Vista as the sun beats down on us. 3-2 from AJ. This time the fastball stays outside, ball 4. Right on cue, you were talking about his proficiency with base on balls, Ethan, and he gets on via the walk here.
He does, and it's the second straight lead runner we've seen reach in as many innings for the Crawdads. And we've seen that. Another common theme this week is just when runners have been on bases, Merchants pitchers have looked a little bit more uncomfortable, and it's a team that was pitching so well through the most part in June, and when these base paths have been busy, it's been a different calculus for these pitchers. We've seen some runners really be able to get into the heads of pitchers, Gamboa included.
Now it's the shortstop Nico DeFazio who fouls the first pitch back for strike 1. Leininger on first. He's stolen 2 bases, been caught 1 time this summer.
It's our first time seeing DeFazio this summer, just his 7th game with the Crawdads, and he's been a July-only player.
Gamboa checks Leininger over at first. Yeah, just his 7th appearance with Walnut Creek, hitting .263. Got 5 hits on the summer. Just getting acquainted with this Crawdads roster. Hitting in the number 8 spot today. Runner goes from runner bluffs from first, as DeFazio takes the second pitch just outside to even the count at 1-1.
I gotta tell you, I've seen more bluffed stolen bases this summer than I ever have in my baseball watching career, whether that be the collegiate level in the Big Ten, whether that be at the MLB level or the high school level.
Here's the 1-1 from Gamboa. Fastball catches the inside corner for strike 2. Yeah, that's why they're on the field and I'm not, Ethan. It faked me out, but did not bother the Merchants, at least so far. Right now, Gamboa is ahead 1-2. Leininger eyes locked on the pitcher as he takes another long look into Winchell. Now he's got the sign ready at the belt. And the 1-2 is a fastball. Swing and a miss. Blew it right by DeFazio for the first out of the inning.
Awesome at-bat for Gamboa. By far his best of this ballgame so far. Just great pitch sequencing. He's shown so many of these hitters those breaking balls, those slower pitches that find the strike zone, and a lot of them have been taken. That time he was attacking primarily with the fastball against DeFazio, and on that last pitch attacked the outside part of the zone, a perfect chase pitch, and got DeFazio ringing up his first strikeout of the ballgame.
Had an NC no chance to that one. Got him in the upper part of the zone. So now it's our first look at the number 9 hitter, the left fielder Casey Levitt-McGee. Trying to move that runner off first. That's still Leininger. 1 out here in the bottom of the second. The first pitch breaking ball is grounded foul.
You say it's our first look, but not the first look for many with this Merchants organization. He played for the Merchants last summer, had 326 and over 100 plate appearances, and led the team in at-bats and hits and average and walks and on-base percentage. He was, by many accounts, the Merchants' best hitter a summer ago when the team went 13-19. And how about the Merchants already on July 12th, surpassing that win total last night, picking up win number 14 on the season, still sitting a few games above 500. And in the thick of a playoff hunt.
So much improvement from this team. The 0-1 check swing grounder to first. Luna comes in. Now he tosses to Turner, who rotates over at first, and they just get Levin McGee. That looked like near disaster. A slow grounder to Luna, who came in, and the pitcher Gamboa wasn't able to get there in time, but heads up rotation from Cy Turner, and the flip was just in time for out number 2.
And Kyle, welcome to edition number 212 of Ethan positively praising the defense of Cy Turner. Usually on a play that takes the first baseman away from the bag, it's the pitcher who's hustling over. But it took the first baseman, Luna, into the pitcher's line, so it had to be Turner shifting all the way over from his second base spot, and he was Johnny on the spot. The awareness that he shows off consistently to be able to snag a big second out.
Athleticism as well as awareness. Excuse me. So Leininger's on second now with 2 outs. We're back to the top of the order as Ryan Ellis takes the first pitch for a strike.
And I got to talk to Cy Turner after yesterday's game, and he says he loves getting to be a jack of all trades for his team and just playing wherever the team needs him. He certainly fulfilled that this summer.
Now the 0-1 to Ellis from Gamboa is on the way. Breaking ball is fouled off to the left. So Gamboa ahead 0-2. Consistently continuing to get ahead of these hitters.
Ellis singled his first time up, was an all-star in the CCL in both 2022 and 2023. 3 summers ago, led this league in doubles 15 and stolen bases 20. I don't know if he's going to get an all-star nod this summer, hitting just .211, although he does have a .400 on-base percentage with a 2-to-1 walk-to-strikeout ratio.
Right now he's behind 0-2 with the runner at second. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. The 0-2 is down low in the dirt. We said at the start of this inning we didn't want Gamboa to have to work out of too much trouble again. Did give up the leadoff walk, but 2 outs since, and trying to extinguish this one. Ellis, as you mentioned, Ethan singled his first time up. Outfield and infield straight up. Here's the 1-2 that drops low to even the count at 2-2.
Early in this game, I've been so impressed with the Crawdads hitters' approach with 2 strikes. Only 1 strikeout in this game. I already mentioned they're best in the league at not striking out under 7 a game. Not to mention they also walk over 6 times a game. When you're walking nearly as much as you strike out, 6.19 to 6.69, that's a reason you lead the league in offense.
It's a puzzle to solve for A.J. Gamboa. Back even with the count 2-2 now. Checks the runner a couple times at second. Now he comes to the plate way outside, so now the count is full.
And while I was given credit to the approach with 2 strikes, in this at-bat for Ellis, there hasn't really been much to think about with 2 strikes. That's been 3 straight pitches that haven't really been near the zone to load the count full.
Gamboa shakes off his catcher a few times. Now he's ready with the sign. 3-2 with 2 out is on its way, and that one's outside, so ball 4. Gamboa loses Ellis. Second time he's on base today in just 2 innings, and that'll bring up the DH Cam Calvillo.
And that was just an instance of Gamboa playing with his food a little bit too much, getting comfortable after getting up 0-2, and spent the first 2 pitches trying to get chase pitches, and then when the rubber met the road and he needed to just toss one in there for a strike, he was unable to locate it, and that's how you lose a batter in 4 pitches. It's, I guess, the baseball version of how to lose a guy in 10 days.
I like that one, Ethan.
Fortunately, we don't got McConaughey, and
it's still all right here, especially if Gamboa can get out of this one. First pitch is a breaking ball on the outside corner for a strike to Calvillo.
We have fun on these broadcasts,
We have fun here, don't we? Calvillo singled to right his first time up. It is Leininger still holding at second. Now Ellis at first base. Here's the 0-1. Another big breaking ball is fouled off to the right. Like a broken record, Gamboa ahead in the count 0-2.
I'm curious what he goes to for this put-away pitch. With an 0-2 count, you do still have those pitches to play with. Here I'm attacking with a breaking ball, the outside part of the zone, something that Calvillo can't do much with. Let's see if he agrees.
Here's the pitch. It's a fastball. This one is popped into foul territory. Luna is racing over, but it's going to go out of play.
So he attacked the part of the zone that I was thinking, but not the pitch I was thinking, and
looked like maybe he was trying to spoil it. Get that fastball up in the zone. It was more towards the middle on the outside corner. So we'll have to do it again. Count still 0-2. And the longer these innings go with this heat that we've mentioned a couple times, could be a lot of laboring for Gamboa on the mound.
He's already thrown 44 pitches, and we're not even through 2.
Merchants have a pitcher waiting in the bullpen, ready to come in if need be. Here's the 2-strike pitch. This one is lined into center field. Nahara's going back and circling under it now and making the catch. So Gamboa once again, a hit and a walk and 2 left for the Crawdads. Go to the top of the third, still tied at 0.
Runs, no hit, a strand. Third inning for the Merchants, first baseman number 22, Angelo Luna.
Top of the third inning here at Monte Vista High. It'll be Luna, Bollinger, and Nahar due up for Alameda. As Brady Wilson begins his third inning of work. A lot of traffic on the base pass, but no runs to show for it for the Merchants.
The last inning was a quick one. Only 7 pitches for Brady Wilson, and he's faced only 1 more than the minimum, in large part because they caught stealing Cy Turner back in the first.
Angelo Luna takes the first pitch high for ball 1. Usually first pitch swinging Luna takes the first pitch. 15th appearance this summer, hitting at 250. Now the 1-0 is swung on, but grounded right back to the pitcher Wilson. He'll jog it almost all the way over to first, but now he flips and records the first out of the inning.
That's another 2-pitch at bat. It
It
really has been wild to watch. And if you're TC Fairfield, at what point do you start to think about, guys, ease into these counts? Because so far the results just haven't been there for the Merchants offense. And we've only seen 19 pitches through 8 batters.
We saw them struggle the first 4 innings yesterday, and then they broke through. See if they do the same thing today. The first pitch is in there to Jack Bollinger for a strike. Fastball on the outside corner.
How about 16 of 20 pitches now for Wilson have been strikes, 80%.
Now the 0-1 is fouled off. So the count is 0-2. It's just the 7th appearance for Bollinger. Had quite the layoff until we saw him back at the College of San Mateo, hitting at 167 on the summer. Behind 0-2 to Wilson, that fastball stays high. It's 1-2.
Yeah, you mentioned he returned to action in Wednesday's game, and those were his first at-bats all the way since June 8th against this Crawdads team in the first week of play.
Potential for a potent bat being added to this lineup as the 1-2 is fouled back.
We've seen, though, a lot of these bats that have been inserted taken 5 to 10 games to really get rolling, and at this point in the season, you're hoping that timeline is accelerated a little bit for Bollinger.
Now the 1-2 is a breaking ball that stays high to even the count.
And the longest at-bat now we've seen of this game. We're about to get a 5th pitch. Can you believe it? Bollinger, really nice work with 2 strikes to take a few and get himself back into the count.
Now here's the 2-2. Breaking ball swung on and missed in the dirt. Catcher will toss to first to complete the strikeout of Bollinger for out number 2.
That's now 6 straight retired by Brady Wilson,
Second baseman, number
who
5,
has
Cy Turner.
really found his groove after giving up that single to Nystrom in the first.
It is not Cy Turner. It is indeed the leadoff hitter, Dominic Nahar. Center fielder standing in now with 2 outs here in the top of the third.
Correction, center fielder, number 23, Dominic Nahar.
What?
Takes the first pitch from Wilson. Nice breaking ball dropped in there for a strike. Nahar, like many Merchants batters, swung early in the count last time and flew out to right field. Wilson already ready with the next pitch. This one is swung on and grounded over to first base. Ewens ranges to his left and steps on first for the unassisted put up. Merchants go quietly in the top of the third. We'll head to the bottom of the third, still scoreless. Three, 4, 5 due up for Walnut Creek. It's the right fielder Joey Donnelly who's getting ready to step to the plate. Here in the bottom of the third, somewhat surprisingly, it's
Right fielder,
Gamboa back
number
out
4,
for his third inning of work.
Donnelly.
Noted last inning that there was a pitcher ready in the Merchants bullpen, but just like Cole Airhorn yesterday, who was able to stretch to 4 innings, perhaps Coach Fairfield trying to get a little bit more length. Gamboa worked around a lot of traffic on the base pass. 3 left on in the first, 2 left on in the second. This time he fires a first pitch strike in there to Donnelly.
Donnelly, despite all his success this season, just 1 for 10 against the Merchants this summer with that fielder's choice that he hit into back in the first inning.
0-1 breaking ball is on the outside corner for strike 2.
And Donnelly, no surprise that he's leading this league in so many categories. He entered this summer with 98 career CCL games and over 415 plate appearances. Has played in the league in each of the past 3 summers, his 4th consecutive summer here.
0-2 fastball just misses off the outside corner, so now the count is 1-2. That is a good competitive 0-2 pitch from Gamboa, just a better take from Donnelly. He points his bat out to center field, now whips it back. Ready in his stance for the 1-2. That's fouled off to the left.
And 3 of those 4 summers in the CCL have been spent here with the Crawdads. Last summer, though, with the Saints of Arroyo Seco, where he hit .327, had a major hot streak in the back half of the season, was an extra base hit machine, and ended the season on a 20-game reached base streak.
Formidable in the batter's box for sure. That pitch drifts outside. Now the count is even at 2-2. I feel like I've said this a million times. Gamboa ahead 0-2. Now it's back even. But he's already ready with the 2-2 pitch. It's on its way. Breaking ball is spoiled. Fouled off to the left. Good at bat from Donnelly. On base up over 500 this summer.
It's been so different from Wilson in terms of the at-bat length. We've seen so many of these 5, 6, 7 pitch at-bats for Gamboa.
He'll try again with the 2-2. That one skips in the dirt, so now it's 3-2. Yet another count that has gone 0-2 to 3-2. Last time that happened in the second inning, that was to Ryan Ellis, and eventually he was walked. Gamboa looking for better fortunes here. Full count pitch to Donnelly is on its way. Fastball is popped up to the left side into foul territory now. Dittmer and Bollinger chase, but it's going to be out of play.
That one would have been ball 4, but good work by Donnelly to spoil it nonetheless. And on top of the impressive hitting resume, also walks more than he strikes out this summer.
As you mentioned, Ethan, a veteran of the Walnut Creek Crawdads and a fixture in the number 3 spot. He awaits another 3-2 pitch. And another long look from Gamboa. Now he's ready. That fastball is whisked out into right field. Back is tackless, though, and he's able to make the catch just a few feet in front of the warning track for out number 1.
Well, I mentioned how Donnelly was with the Saints last summer, and one of my close friends at Northwestern, Adam Beck, was actually the broadcaster for the Saints last summer, and I asked him going in, what's the down low on Joey Donnelly? And he said, extra base hit machine, and gave me a lot of stuff, including just he's got real deal power to right field especially, and we saw some of it there. Luckily, didn't get all of that one, and Tackless was able to collect it for the first out of the inning.
Certainly heard the sound off the bat, caused a little trepidation, but no harm. 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd. First pitch breaking ball is in there for a strike to the cleanup hitter Jared Medham. Medham walked his first time up and stole second.
It's a filthy first pitch by Gamboa. He's really had to earn every out so far in this game, and frankly, in my opinion, a little bit lucky to still be holding Walnut Creek to a 0 on the scoreboard, but you'll take it. He's really started to heat things up here the past few batters and throw some of his best pitches of the game thus far.
That time the 0-1 is another breaking ball just off the outside corner, but another good pitch. Yeah, Ethan, I'd say he's been more inconsistent than wild, and I think that's what's kept him in this game.
I would agree with that assessment.
Now the 1-1 to Medham is a fastball that jams him up. He fouls it back. Just behind us. I brought my glove yesterday. It might be more useful today out here in the open air, just behind this fence, behind home plate. It's a great view that we have here at Monte Vista. Despite the sun beating down, wonderful field in a wonderful area. Great backdrop, can see the trees and the hills. Here's the 1-2 from Gamboa. This one is grounded to second. Turner to his right, scoops it up, tosses to first, and that is out number 2.
Nice play by Turner. Have to mention, I was just looking through Medham's profile, and I have here in my notes. Guess who Jared Medham spent summers of 22 and 2023 with in terms of his summer ball?
I was going to guess Adam Beck, but with the summer ball, I'm not sure. Go ahead.
The Duluth Huskies. And anyone who listened to our broadcast yesterday, I guess the Northwoods League, just becoming a bit of an inside joke here on the Merchants streaming network. They lead their division, by the way, having a nice season, 10-2.
Not anybody who listens to our broadcast, anybody who watches baseball knows about the Huskies of Duluth. As the first pitch to John Ewens is up high for ball 1. The famous Duluth Huskies getting it done in summer ball. What's more Americana than the Duluth Huskies? Ewens flew out his first time. 1-0 breaking ball, dots the inside corner for strike 1. Really seen Gamboa be able to throw that breaking ball to both sides of the plate. Not always consistently, but enough. Bottom of the 3rd, 2 outs. 1-1 to Ewens. Fastball stays outside, ball 2.
Ewens over an 1,000 OPS this summer. The Waco, Texas product who chose to stay home for his collegiate ball, playing at Baylor. Hasn't played too much.
But in danger of losing Ewens here. Big sigh on the mound. Now he's ready at the belt. Turns and kicks and fires the 3-1. Fastball is laced to second base, but right there is Turner. He'll throw to first, and that will be the 3rd out of the inning. The first 1-2-3 inning for Gamboa, very well timed. We're through 3. We'll go to the top of the 4th, still scoreless. Top of the fourth now. New pitcher to tell you about for Walnut Creek. It's the right-hander Edward Saeed. Big 6'6", 220 righty out of Los Medanos Community College. This is his 5th appearance on the season. Thrown 6 1/3 innings, given up 5 hits, a 1.42 ERA, 7 walks and 5 strikeouts. Coming in this bulk inning spot, this middle inning spot, he'll try his hand against Turner, Nystrom, and Tackless, who are due up for Alameda. As Turner steps into the box, reached on his error his first time up, swings and misses at the first pitch this time to fall behind 0-1.
Kyle, you mentioned that 1.42 ERA, and doing it even more impressive in his first appearances against collegiate hitters. He redshirted this past year at Los Medanos in his freshman season.
0-1 is called a strike. Looked like it might have been off the plate. Turner has a few words with the home plate umpire. Never seen them change a call after that. It's still 0-2. Turner will try to fight back here against Saeed. Big imposing presence on the mound. The 0-2 is grounded foul down the first base line.
Turner reached on an error back in the first and technically makes him 0 for 1 on the day, but he still reached base. In each of the past 2 contests, he's reached base 4 times, and he's already a quarter of the way there in today's contest. But he's really been boosting that on-base percentage recently, up to 385, and the OPS creeping back towards 800. It's currently sitting at 794 on the season.
After a long look, here's the 0-2 to Turner. That fastball this time is called outside. And now the count is 1-2. Strike zone maybe jumping around on Cy here.
Turner said his approach hasn't changed all that much in recent days, but he's just starting to get the bat going. The hitting has really started to come along.
Stands in for the 1-2. Here it comes. Fastball laced out into left field, but right at the left fielder, Levin McGee, for the first out of the inning. Good contact from Turner that time, but it turns into the first out.
We've seen a handful of balls to the outfield off the bats of these Merchant hitters that have been well struck, but straight in the direction, directly to outfielders for Walnut Creek.
At home, that heavy air often sets in and maybe depresses some of the fly ball activity, but you figure they keep getting them in the air here. On a day like this, the ball could be flying. Not for Turner that time, but here's the DH, Jackson Nystrom. Takes the first pitch breaking ball that he thought was off the inside corner, but according to the home plate umpire, was a strike.
It's a really dirty pitch from Saeed. Even got Nystrom turning away from it. He was never even thinking about it.
A lot of movement. 0-1, another breaking ball. That one looked good, but that one's called the ball, so the count is even at 1-1. So far this summer, Saeed about 80% fastballs, averages around 85 miles an hour. Mostly fastball slider. Seen that slider a couple times in this at-bat. Now the 1-1 is a fastball spiked in the dirt, nowhere close. So 2-1.
I think that's the first ball we've seen get past the catcher all game on either side, and something we've become quite accustomed to seeing in the past few games. Spike pitches, wild pitches, pass balls galore.
Just maybe gripping that ball a little bit too tight, overthrowing a little bit.
Here's the 2-1.
Now the 2-1 is a ground ball to short. To his right is DeFazio. He's got a long throw. Here it is, and not in time. So an infield single for Nystrom after a bloop single his first time up. That one was hit hard to the shortstop, DeFazio, who had to range far from his right and tried to make a Derek Jeter-like play, but just wasn't able to get it over to first in time. So.
Nystrom now responsible for both of the Merchants' hits thus far in this ballgame. It's his 6th multi-hit game of the summer. And we were talking about it last night off air after the ballgame that we think he, honestly, at this point should be a shoe-in for the CCL All-Star game on Wednesday. But he just didn't play that much in the first 2 weeks of the season. It's just a matter of does he have enough at-bats. Now up to 74 plate appearances on the summer, but all the other metrics, batting average, on-base percentage, OPS, all of it's in the green.
They want to get him into the All-Star game, and the Merchants offense wants to get him in here.
Also want to get him into the home run derby. Want to see what he could do, see if he can improve his second-place finish in the Grand Forks International Home Run Derby.
Tackless swung and missed at the first pitch, so it's 0-1. Nystrom over at first base. He's back safely. So 0-1 to Aiden Tackless, who struck out his first time up, was behind a fastball. Here's the pitch. That stays outside. Evens the count at 1-1.
Kyle, at the top of the inning, we probably should have talked a little bit more about the surprising decision to take Brady Wilson out of the game after 3 innings of scoreless ball, allowing just 1 hit, and the pitch count was sitting pretty.
Second time through now. They perhaps wanted to get a new look. 1-1 is inside, down in the dirt. So 2-1 now to Tackless.
Well, in comparison, Saeed has just struggled with his control a little bit, certainly more than Wilson did. Tackless, a hitter who can make you pay when you fall behind. Saw him get an RBI walk with the bases loaded yesterday.
2-1 is grounded softly to first base. Ewens will just have to take the play there. So Nystrom moves up to second. Out number 2 for Saeed.
The shortstop, number 4, Brendan O'Sullivan.
Runner in scoring position now in O'Sullivan. His second at bat. He flew out to right his first time up, and we started this game talking about the good contact that he's made in both of these games, but has had nothing to show for it so far. I'd like to see him get something here.
Still looking for that first hit of the summer, as you mentioned.
So Nystrom leads off second. First pitch from Saeed is way outside for ball 1. Outfield straight up, infield straight up for the shortstop O'Sullivan. 1-0 also outside. They throw back to second, but Nystrom is able to race back in there just at the last second. Nystrom dancing off a little far there. Catcher Justice tried to get the back pick and almost did.
Yeah, that shows you just the arm on Zach Justice. And even if you don't get the out, maybe that disincentivizes the Merchants from trying to steal bases in the future. Merchants lead the league in stolen bases, despite playing less games than most of the other teams in the top 5. But Zach Justice has a hose of a right arm, as we saw on display there. Nearly got Nystrom.
So 2-0 the count in the top of the 4th with 2 out. Runner on second. And the pitch to O'Sullivan is a fastball just outside, so now it's 3-0. As you mentioned, Wilson very efficient, especially after that first inning when he ran into some trouble. But Saeed has been a little more all over the place. First 3-0 count of the day for Walnut Creek. Saeed gets the sign, now he turns and he fires. Fastball down low, so a 4-pitch walk to Brendan O'Sullivan to give the Merchants first and second for the catcher Riley Winchell.
His first time reaching base this summer.
Catcher number 17, Riley Winchell.
O'Sullivan, who was formerly All Big 8 first team with San Joaquin Delta a few seasons ago.
We've seen Winchell start to impact the ball a little bit more this July since they've come back from Canada. Could sure use a base hit here.
Had a double in Wednesday's game.
First pitch is swung on and tapped foul.
And that was a good one to hit. The first pitch strike after a 4-pitch walk left a meatball right over the heart of the plate, and Winchell knew it, and he's kicking himself for not being able to take advantage.
Big swing from Riley that time, but count of 0-1. Winchell hitting .237 on the summer, his 10th start. 0-1. Now they throw back to first, but the throw skips away from the first baseman. I believe that they would have had O'Sullivan.
They had him, Kyle. They 100% had
back
O'Sullivan.
At first base, but the first baseman, Ewens, was unable to corral that throw. We've seen 2 times now the catcher, Justice, try to pick off these aggressive Merchants runners. We noted all of their dancing off of first and second that we saw yesterday. Got to be a little more careful.
Especially with those secondary leads, need to be cautious.
The 1-1 with 2 outs. Fastball is popped up on the infield. Who's going to take it? First baseman comes in. Now it's in foul territory. The catcher, Justice, comes back, and perhaps rightly so, records the 3rd out of the inning.
No runs, 1 hit, a strand, 2 base runners.
No runs, excuse me. 2 runners left on base for Alameda. We will go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Still 0-0. Ready for the bottom of the fourth here in Danville. New pitcher to tell you about is the lefty Dom Crestinzio. Since all the way back on July
Leading
5th,
off the bottom of the fourth
about a
inning
week
for
ago
the
against
Crawdads,
Sonoma.
Catcher number 26, Zach.
This summer, he's thrown 10 1/3 innings, 3.48 ERA. He'll deal with Justice, Leininger, and DeFazio due up for the Crawdads. Kicks and fires the first pitch into the catcher, Zach Justice, for a strike.
Good to see a first pitch strike. Despite Crestinzio's overall solid line against the Stompers, he got 7 outs, gave up 1 run that was unearned and 1 hit. Through 38 pitches, just 17 of them were strikes in that ballgame.
8 walks on the summer for Crestinzio. This pitch is inside, evens the count at 1-1.
And Crestinzio has an interesting profile with the fastball, changeup, slider. The ERA is sitting in a good spot, but the whip at around 2.3, giving up just a lot of traffic and a low strikeout per 9 innings. So he really relies on getting softly hit contact, and too often that's led to base runners against him this season.
Yeah, this time the 1-1 is a fastball off the outside corner. And now he's behind 12 in slider for Crestinzio, just like yesterday. So location of the utmost importance with a profile like that. 2-1 is popped up to the right side. Out in right field, Tackless has it for the first out of the inning.
And interesting that you mentioned the name Cantrell, who yesterday threw 3 scoreless innings and was really spectacular, shaking off an appearance before that where he really struggled. And while Crestinzio was solid, I would say, in his last outing, a good first start. You saw that soft contact out to the outfield, an easy play for Tackless to be able to make. You want to see more of that if you're Crestinzio in this ballgame.
Able to get that fastball in on that hitter that time, on the right-handed batter. This time it's a lefty, Riley Leininger, who steps in and takes the first pitch, a breaking ball down low for ball 1. Leininger walked his first time up. That control was a bugaboo for Crestinzio this spring as well. Played at the College of San Mateo. He walked 23 in 35 innings. That time a breaking ball stays inside, so now he's behind 2-0. Fastball sits in about the low to mid 80s. Slider much slower, low 70s. That time he lost it off the inside corner. He'll try again with the 2-0. Here it is. Fastball stays inside and hits Leininger.
I have that actually as Crestinzio's first plunked batter of the season. And despite some of the command issues, that's been one thing where it hasn't been an issue. No wild pitches, no hit by pitches so far this season, assuming the league stats are correct. And that time just ran way too far in on Leininger, who reaches for the second time today.
His fastball has that natural arm side run, so it's really important to get it into righty so it's not over the middle. And also you risk it running inside to left-handed hitters to the point where it hits them like it did that time. So 1 on, 1 out here for the shortstop, Nico DeFazio. Swung and missed at a fastball for strike 3, struck out his first time back in the second inning. Leininger leads off first. Here's the pitch from Crestinzio. Grounded to short. O'Sullivan comes in and tosses to second for 1. Turner, perhaps a wise decision to eat that, though. Heard maybe some disagreement from the dugout. Some speed for DeFazio, so probably the best bet to eat that one. So 2 outs now for the left fielder, Levin McGee.
Casey, Levin McGee.
And in the first 2 innings of this game, the Crawdads were really just having consistent runners on the bases. It's not been quite as much the case in the past 2. And credit to Gamboa and Crestinzio, who really have settled things down. And despite the scoreboards being 0-0, it felt like the Crawdads had some early momentum in this contest with the way the pitching staff was throwing and the way that the offense was getting hitting. But now those 5 stranded in the first 2 innings are really looming large, with it still being a scoreless contest in the bottom of the 4th.
Right now, Leininger over on first, runner on for the Crawdads. First pitch miss. Now the second pitch also misses to Levin McGee, so Crestinzio once again behind, this time 2-0. Levin McGee hitting in the number 9 spot. You lose him, you're back to the top of the order with Ryan Ellis. So a left-on-left matchup. You would assume Crestinzio has the advantage. Needs to get back into the count. Now time called by the hitter.
Levin McGee in a lineup of batters who have been excellent has not really been able to turn on the offense so much so far this season and has struggled recently. 0 for his last 11 in the past calendar week.
Here's the 2-0. This one is swung on and popped up behind short. Now in comes the left fielder Bollinger, and he makes the catch for the third out of the inning. So no hits, one runner left, no runs again for the Crawdads. We'll go to the fifth inning now, speeding along here in Danville, still scoreless. So after Edward Said worked a scoreless third, he'll give way to a new pitcher here in the fourth. Say it with me 5 times fast. It'll be Peter Storjahan on for the Crawdads. He has been stellar for Walnut Creek this summer. This is his 8th appearance so far, 12 1/3 innings, just 4 hits given up, 16 strikeouts in those 12 innings, and an 0.73 ERA. So we go to the back half of this game now. See some of the heavy hitters starting to come out of this bullpen for Walnut Creek. It'll be Dittmer, Luna, and Bollinger due up for Alameda. Here's Dittmer. He takes the first pitch down low for a ball.
Storjahan offers a fastball in the low 90s, real deal velocity, and then a slider in the low 80s to work off of it. And you mentioned some of those amazing stats, that team-leading .73 ERA, also a 100 batting average against.
That time it's a fastball that's fouled back right above us from Dittmer. Trying to get back in the hit column. It's been a while for Chase.
.58 whip for Storjahan as well.
Here's the 1-1. There's that slider on the outside corner for strike 2. It's early, but can already see the good stuff for Storjahan. You see why his numbers are so good for Walnut Creek. Tough right-on-right matchup. Here's the 1-2. Fastball swung on and chopped foul down the third base line.
I have here in my notes about Storjahan, who started his career at Diablo Valley College, where he was named the Pitcher of the Year and First Team All-Big 8. And he didn't give up a run for the first 30 innings of his collegiate career. And he's not been able to maintain that, but has been impressive at every stop, and currently in the transfer portal, and someone is going to be getting an absolute gem of a pitcher.
1-2 is grounded over to second base. Right there is Ellis. He flips over to first for the first out of the inning.
I find it interesting that between Storjahan, Said, all these guys who have sub-3 ERAs, in this game, the Crawdads and the manager, Brant Cummings, are throwing some of their best pitchers. They recognize the importance of this game, which is for possession of first place in the CCL North Division. And yes, the Crawdads have a ton of pitchers with sub-3 ERAs, so that might have happened anyways, but you have to imagine there is some intent behind these decisions, knowing the importance of this game with it still being deadlocked at a 0-0 tie.
Now here's the left-handed hitting Angelo Luna. He takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. Especially seeing Storjahan come in just the 5th inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Merchants. No runs, 2 hits, 1 error for the Crawdads. 1-0 pitch is outside, so Luna ahead 2-0. Luna ready for the 2-0. It's a fastball on the outside corner for strike one. Very emphatic call from the umpire, Felix Zhang.
And
Make sure everybody here knows it's a strike.
Most recently, we saw Storyhan in his most recent appearance on July 8th go 3 innings. So potential that he's not just in for one middle inning, but trying to give some length in the middle of the lineup.
2-1 to Luna, skied to center field. It chases met him back, but he's got some room right in front of the fence out there to record the second out of the inning. Deep fly ball from Luna. Good contact that time, Ethan, but nothing to show for it.
You know, still 2 hits per side here in the 5th inning, but I'm having a lot of fun with this 0-0 ball game. Some great pitching we've seen, some excellent defense, and I think this is the type of game where you really start to see the strategies come into fold. Do we see TC Fairfield, who has been so aggressive on the base pass and has been very anti-bunting all season long? Do we see them start to maybe try and play a little small ball at some point in this game?
So Bollinger taps the first pitch over to second. More work for Ellis. He tosses over to first for the third out of the inning. Another 1-2-3 inning for the Crawdads. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th now, halfway through our ball game, still tied at 0. Bottom of the 5th here at Monte Vista High. Still deadlocked at 0. Good game. You were talking about it during the break as well, Ethan. It's just a great playoff-type game that we have here.
It is. It's an awesome environment out here in Danville. Had some kids check by in with the broadcast booth earlier. Some crowd support on both sides in the ballpark today, and it's an important game, as we mentioned, with under a dozen remaining games in the CCL regular season.
Leading off is the second baseman, Ryan Ellis. Made a couple nice plays the last half inning. He takes the first pitch out of the zone for ball 1. Ellis is singled to center and walked his first 2 times up. Now he awaits the 1-0 from Cristingio. Fouls this one off to the left. Yeah, I'd be remiss if we didn't get out of here with giving the birthday shout out that I promised. He's not near us anymore. I see him back there in the stands. It's happy 9th birthday to Mr. Noah Grossman, who decided to spend his time here at Monte Vista High and watch this matchup. I assume because we were calling it. We're doing great things for the attendance here, even. 1-1 is a fastball in there for strike 2. Good to see Dom get ahead in the count here.
It's a good way to spend your 9th birthday. Trying to remember how I spent mine. Maybe that was the one I went to a Kane County Cougars game. It was a baseball game, so I've done birthdays at baseball games. They're a great time.
1-2 from Cristingio is way outside. Minor league affiliate, I assume?
I want to say they're low A or single A. King County is a bit of a drive out from Chicago, but it's in the area, and they got a really nice ballpark there, actually, like way nicer than you would think for a low A or single A team.
2-2 from Cristingio is inside, so another full count. Trying not to lose Ellis at the top of the order. Behind him, it'll be Calvillo and Donnelly.
Cristingio was sharp last inning at inducing softly hit balls, with the exception of the hit by pitch that put a runner on. But a huge payoff pitch here to start out this inning.
So the 3-2, swing and a miss. A fastball, he got it by the second baseman, Ellis, for the first out of the inning.
A big strikeout to start the inning. It's just the second Crawdad hitter who struck out in this ball game. I've said it a few times now. They strike out less than anyone else in the CCL. And when you're able to just consistently put the ball in play, good things happen, but less so against a team with a defense as good as the Merchants, second in the CCL in fielding percentage behind only Walnut Creek. And so far in this game, it's been a few stranded batters and a handful of just softly hit balls that have...
Now the first pitch to Calvillo is swung on and grounded to Dittmer over at third. He picks it up and fires across the diamond to first for out number 2. Quick out there for Crescenzio, and it's starting to mirror what we saw from Cantrell yesterday, coming in these middle innings and seeing if you can eat up 3 or 4.
And not only was Cantrell in that game so big because it gave 3 innings in that contest, but also because it meant as a result that the Merchants only had to throw 3 pitchers in that game. And you saw that pay dividends. It allows you to keep arms fresh for today's game and games going forward.
So here's Joey Donnelly, left-handed hitter, takes a breaking ball down low for ball 1. Crescenzio, getting it done a little bit differently than Gamboa, who was consistently ahead of running long counts. Crescenzio has not been as consistent in the strike zone. He's behind 1-0 to Donnelly here. Steps off. Now gets the sign. Left on left matchup here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. 1-0 is up high. Now the count is 2-0.
Donnelly's 0 for 2 today, but currently leads the CCL in hits and trying to go back-to-back summers, placing top 10 in the league in that category. If there is a CCL Hall of Fame, Joey Donnelly making himself quite a case over 4 seasons.
Well, and this is the situation where you want him up. 2 outs, nobody on. This one lined up the middle. Turner to his right makes a great play and throws to first in time. How many ways can we talk about how impressive Cy Turner has been for this Merchants team? Ranging deep to his right, rim of the outfield grass, and he turned and threw to first and recorded the out.
Too. What a play.
1, 2, 3, go the Crawdads in the bottom of the 5th. Still scoreless, but a great game here. We'll be back for the top of the 6th in just a moment. Top of the 6th, almost ready to go, and yet another new pitcher to tell you about. It's going to be righty Joe Pooplin. What do you got on him, Ethan?
Well, we've usually seen him as a catcher. He's making just his 5th appearance as a pitcher this summer, and he's struggled. 5.1 innings, a 16.88 ERA, and the real bugaboo for him have been hit by pitches. 7 hit by pitches in just over 5 innings. Has given up 12 runs, 10 of which were earned. Also did some pitching at Chabot College where things were a lot better. ERA closer to 5 over 23 innings and 24 strikeouts to 16 walks, and starts his day out with a strike to Nahal.
Yeah, this time in the zone is going to be Nahar, Turner, and Nystrom, top of the order for Alameda. Breaking ball is lined into left field for a base hit. Nahar just kind of stuck the bat out there and flipped it out in front of Levitt McGee. So a leadoff base runner, and obviously will be on Nahar watch over there at first base.
I think that's the platonic ideal of a bloop single. Like the flight path of that ball just perfectly looped over the head of the third baseman and sat directly between him and the left fielder.
Full disclosure, sometimes Ethan and I, as the summer has gone on, we give each other words to work into the broadcast, but I want to stress, platonic ideal was not a word that I gave him. That's just out
That's
of
the
his normal
razor-sharp
working
mind
brain.
of the noggin of Ethan
The
Siegel.
very philosophical mind of Ethan Siegel, as we have been treated to this summer, and we're all better for it. So right now, Nahar at first base, and it's Cy Turner who made that great play to end the last half inning up at the plate. Fouls the first pitch off.
Yeah, I want to go back to that play. We just keep singing the praises of Cy Turner as a defensive player, but also doing that as an offensive player in recent games. He's reached once in this ball game, and we mentioned reaching 8 times in the prior 2 before this game. Had his first homer of the season in yesterday's contest.
Now the 0-1 is fouled off, so Turner is behind 0-2. As the familiar sounds of the kids roaming around the stands here.
Hunting foul balls.
Through. Got to go chase down those foul balls. So Nahar is not yet moved. Here's the 0-2 to Turner. It's on its way. Fastball inside, almost hit Turner, to your point. Copeland has struggled with those hit batters. Going to be interesting to see if he can finish off the red-hot Cy Turner. Nahar again takes his lead off first. Here's the 1-2. That one is fouled back again.
You mentioned yesterday's game, Turner hitting his first home run of the season. Nahar also going above the 20 watermark in the stolen base category, but was caught stealing for just the second time all season. Not often you see that. And we already saw the arm of the catcher Justice, so perhaps why they've been a little hesitant to send Nahar, but still always a threat.
Some good catcher play these last couple of games. 1-2, breaking ball, swung on and miss. Swung on foul tip, but a strikeout is the point. Good pitch there from Copeland for the first out of the inning.
I think good is an understatement. That was a filthy pitch breaking back in towards Turner, who bats from the lefty's batter's box right towards his knees, and it was a ball, but it fooled Turner. Came in as a strike all the way, and Turner took a big hack, and we got some chanting happening out in right field now after that big Copeland strikeout.
Merchant's dugout may have met their match. So runner goes from first. It's Nahar. Throw is there in time, and he's out. First pitch to Nystrom was a fastball for a strike. Nahar did not get a great jump in. Ethan, I think you're about to mention it. Just such a strong, perfect throw from Justice again.
Yeah, just the perfect throw from Justice, who is perhaps the best catcher we've seen all season long behind the dish. We've seen a handful of perfectly placed, high-velocity throws, and as I was just saying, just the third time now someone's nabbed Nahar on the base pass, sending him back to the dugout, and that changes the math of this inning. You had a runner on with no outs in the top of the order, and now bases empty, 2 outs for Nystrom, who's done his damage in this game, 2 singles.
Right now, behind 0-2 as he swung on a breaking ball. Missed it. So 0-2 with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Here's the pitch from Copeland. Fastball outside. Kind of a low 3/4 slot from the right side. Sort of similar to what we saw from Storjahan. Real tough look for a right-handed hitter. So we'll do it again on 0-2. That fastball is fouled back.
And I don't fault TC Fairfield for trying to get aggressive and put a runner in scoring position for Nystrom, who's already had 2 singles in this game. And you'd think another one to the outfield could score the first run of this ball game. But just the arm of Justice erasing base runners. And it feels like this is the type of the game that the first team to be able to score is going to be a heavy favorite.
1-2 breaking ball is swung on and rolled over to third base. There's Leininger, who fires over to first base. To complete the top of the 6th inning, some good defense, some good arms being shown by the Crawdads. Still scoreless here at Monte Vista High. We'll be back for the bottom of the 6th in just a moment. So unlike the Crawdads, who we've seen a new pitcher just about every inning, the Merchants will send Dom Crestinzio back out for his third inning of work. 2 scoreless so far for Dom. It'll be the middle of the lineup.
Center fielder number 6, Jared Medham.
Medham followed by Ewens and then Justice. No runs, 3 hits, and no errors for the Merchants. No runs, still just 2 hits for Walnut Creek and the 1 error. First pitch is inside to Medham.
Well, you mentioned those 2 hits. This game started in the bottom of the first with singles from both Ellis and Calvillo, the first 2 hitters up. Since then, the Crawdads have been blanked. No hits thus far since the 2nd inning, including none allowed by Crestinzio, who's only given up 1 base runner through 2 innings.
Second pitch is high to Medham, who walked in the 1st inning and grounded out to second in the 3rd inning. Familiar to see Crestinzio behind in the count again, 2-0. He's been able to come back from that, but I feel like he's playing with fire. Here's the 2-0. Good off-speed pitch down in the dirt, gets Medham to swing and miss.
And after holding the Legends to 1 run in yesterday's game and currently a 0 on the scoreboard for the league-leading offense, just an impressive bounce back from this pitching staff as a whole, who were really reeling in the past week, in the previous week. But now they've allowed just 1 run in the past 14 innings. If you extend that back to the 2nd inning of the previous game against the Legends, I think it's 1 run in the past 26 innings of work after that blow-up 2nd inning, 8 runs scored by the Legends a few days ago. And since then, the pitching staff has just looked entirely different.
2-1 from Crestinzio, skips in the dirt, so now he's behind 3-1. Again, playing with a little fire here. It's a great call by you, Ethan, to note the improvement of the pitching staff. Part of all these phases of the team coming together. Now here's the 3-1, and just chopped foul to third base. Got some action in the bullpen for both teams. Can't quite see it for Walnut Creek, but that's the big righty Armando Murillo warming up for the Merchants. But right now it's Crestinzio's game. And right now he's 3-2 to Medham. Bottom of the 6th here. Here's the 3-2. Calls strike 3 on the outside corner. Good pitch from Crestinzio for the first out of the inning.
Medham was halfway down the line to first base, thinking he had drawn a walk, but to me that was just the perfectly placed pitch by Crestinzio, his 2nd strikeout of the game. He's continued to be impressive, just like before him with Gamboa. He's had to work for all of these outs. He's not been throwing a ton of strikes. I still think under 50% strikes, but he's just been able to bear down and get these outs.
This time a first pitch strike to the first baseman, John Ewens. They've kept him quiet today. That's a great sign. He flew out to left and he grounded to second. You want to make sure you get ahead of him. Want to note on that strikeout, that looked like a changeup from Crestinzio. It dotted the outside corner, just froze Medham. Mostly fastball slider. Occasionally will mix that in. He did to great effect to end that at bat. So left on left now for Ewens. Long look in for Crestinzio. And now time called. Each outing by these pitchers starting to gain more and more trust from Coach Fairfield. You can add Cantrell to that list and certainly Gamboa. Crestinzio trying to get himself on that list. And that fastball is up in the zone and it hits Ewens in the face. We hope that got perhaps the side flap. That's a fastball that stayed up and in and it rocked him up in the noggin. We're obviously going to come out and check on him. Hopefully just immediately pull him from the game. He's walking off under his own power. That is a good sign, but very uncomfortable scene here.
Obviously we're paused and the main concern is Ewens, who was plunked right into, it looked like the cheek-chin area, just touched part of him, and that can't feel good. We've mentioned for Crestinzio, the issues for him have been a lot of hit-by pitches, which have just crowded the base paths more than necessary. And for Ewens, who continues to stand in the infield grass, he's flexing that jaw.
I'd like to see him come out of the game here to preserve his health. I think the perhaps concussion protocol, so to speak, at any level of baseball isn't quite the strongest football, but you see somebody take a fastball, even mid-80s, excuse me, to the side of the face like that. Can walk it off, but we want to make sure that the young man is okay.
Just trying to assess it, it doesn't look like anyone from the Crawdads dugout has come out with anything to stop any sort of bleeding or anything like that. Yeah. So hopefully the pitch just nicked him.
More on the cheek than on the top of the head, the cranium area. But he's been walking around the infield for a little while trying to walk it off. Now he's starting to go towards the dugout with the trainer. Looks like he may be coming out of this game, which might be the wise choice for Walnut Creek. And indeed, a pinch runner is coming out.
Your attention, please. Pinch running in first for Ewins, number 5, Cam Taylor.
So you may have heard over the public address, it's Cam Taylor who's going to pinch run for Ewins at first. We obviously certainly hope he's okay. Big member of this Walnut Creek lineup. And now we have an argument. Wonder if somebody might have been tossed. I was glancing down in my scorebook for a second to record that hit by pitch, and now we got a big argument between the Crawdads dugout, and it looks like the umpire Alex Dickerson.
Doesn't look like any ejections, but certainly some frustration with this Crawdads staff, trying to locate and pinpoint the reason for it. Obviously, tempers are bound to flare whenever any of your players gets hit in the face by a pitch, but their frustration seemed to be with the umpires more than with Cristinzio.
So still some chirping coming from the dugout, but the umpire now taking his position over just in front of second base. Cristinzio has been throwing a few warm-up pitches. You know, he feels bad about that pitch, but he's going to have to lock in here with the runner on first and one out in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Yeah, and the last thing you want if you're Cristinzio is to let that shake your confidence, and plus the several minute delay now in the game take away from your momentum and shake you off the rhythm that he had been building.
So now we're seeing a lot of screaming coming from the Crawdads dugout. And they are being rewarded, in my estimation, by the patience of that umpire. They still keep going now. And at some point, you got to take control and figure out how we're going to stop this.
And now some heated exchanges between these teams as the Merchants saying they're ready to play ball, and the Crawdads intend to keep shouting at them.
Heated is the right word. Now Coach Fairfield is trotting out. We've got the third base coach chatting with the Merchants dugout as well. And now with the umpire Alex Dickerson. Now Coach Fairfield makes his way over. He wants to perhaps discuss things, get his perspective on things in there.
Kyle, can we just play some baseball?
I'm not sure.
I've had enough of this chirping. I don't know who to blame here for this lengthy delay. If the umpires are being a little sensitive, if the players are chirping more than they need to, we'll try and sort things out, and I'll certainly be asking TC Fairfield about everything that went down after the game.
Perhaps.
But now Cristinzio is going to get to throw a few warm-up pitches.
I'll have to see. Maybe there was a warning issued or something like that to that dugout, and nobody likes that after their batter has been hit.
But then certainly some words we can't repeat on air were exchanged between these two teams, and
we hope Noah Grossman had his ears covered.
Yeah, with lots of kids in the ballpark. Don't love that. And honestly, frankly, just some Bush League taken away from the fact that this is a really good, really tight ball game. And yeah, we're going to see some sparks fly in a first-place game, but ideally those sparks are flying on the field and not from the mouths of players, as we are still just locked in this extremely lengthy delay at this point, and I see no indication of a return to play.
Can't imagine what we're waiting for if there's not an ejection. The only thing I would think we're waiting for is for whoever is ejected to leave. I think that's what it was. We'll, as you said, Ethan, get all the information on officially what went down. But after an extended delay, it looks like we're ready for baseball. So the catcher, Zach Justice, up his third time. First pitch is cracked out to right field. Tackless is coming in towards the line, but it's going to fall fair. Taylor is rounding second. He's going to third. The throw from Turner is not in time. So after all that, first pitch swinging is Justice. He sends a single out to right field, and is first and third with one out now for the Crawdads.
And that's the Crawdads' first hit since the bottom of the first inning, and that's what I mentioned I was worried about with Cristinzio. After a 5-minute delay, you lose all of that rhythm that you'd been able to pick up, and that first pitch, Justice was hunting and shellacked it out into right field, and suddenly a really dangerous situation for the Merchants. Runners on the corners with just one out, a sac fly in play, and I said it last inning, it feels like this is the type of the game that the first team to be able to score, the tides are going to really shift in their favor.
So now it's Leininger who swings at the first pitch and skips in the dirt. So the count is 0-1. Taylor, who came in for Ewens, who was hit in the face, he's on third. And now it's Justice on first for the left-handed hitting Leininger. It's a lefty-on-lefty matchup. Here's the 0-1 from Cristinzio. This one is grounded foul down the first base line, so he's gotten ahead 0-2.
And usually I'd say you're with the runners on corners, you're thinking about sending the runner on first to take the double play ball away, but with the catcher Justice as the man on first, certainly a far riskier proposition. The infielders are playing at double play depth.
Here's the 0-2. Now we got to throw to third base, try to get the runner there. And instead they're going to call a balk. And that's going to score the run from third. Well, they must be saying that Cristinzio didn't properly come set and pause before the delivery. He delivered the pitch. Winchell tried to pick off the runner Taylor at third base, but instead we get a call of a balk from the umpire who's been in the middle of everything today, and now Coach Fairfield is upset.
And he's upset, and in my opinion, rightfully so, saying that call was obscenely late. It was all the way after the catcher Winchell had thrown down to third when the umpire finally signaled for a balk, and frankly, I didn't see it. If I'm being honest, I think that's a bit of a reach of a call, perhaps. I don't want to say a makeup call after some spats between the Walnut Creek coaching staff and these umpires, but what a game-changing call by the umpires. You just hate to see a close and important game like this be decided so much by an officiating decision.
So the runner Justice goes to second base now. That's the first run of this game here in the bottom of the sixth. Now a 1-0 lead for Walnut Creek with one out. 0-2 to Leininger. Now Cristinzio set. Fires the 0-2, and that one is fouled back. It's a crazy, tight, tense, playoff-like game, Ethan. We said it earlier.
It's been an eventful sixth inning.
Two-strike pitch is popped up on the infield, now in foul territory. It's Dittmer who calls off Winchell and comes in from third base to make the catch for out number 2.
And that just makes that balk feel even more painful, considering you would have had runners on the corners now with 2 outs and a chance to get out of the inning. And that was exactly what you were looking for with 2 on and 1 out.
Unfortunately, a radio-only broadcast today, so we can't go back and check that video later. For now, we'll just have to live with it and see if we can get out of this inning. It's 2 outs now for the shortstop, Nico DeFazio.
You can go check the broadcast with our friends, the Crawdads, who are also broadcasting this game.
It's a good call. First pitch to DeFazio is a fastball that stays outside. Cristinzio trying to get through his third inning of work. 1-0 also stays outside, this time in the dirt, so now the count is 2-0. DeFazio has struck out and grounded to short. Trying to hold Justice at second is Cristinzio. Here's the 2-0. Fastball stays high, so now it's 3-0. On deck is Casey Levitt McGee. We mentioned Armando Murillo warming in the bullpen, now just kind of standing around. He's ready whenever Coach Fairfield wants him. The 3-0, fastball in there for a strike. Back in the count at 3-1. DeFazio, as mentioned earlier, just 5 hits this summer. That's his 7th game. Native of San Leandro, California, swings and grounds one up the middle. To his left is O'Sullivan, picks up and tosses to first for the 3rd out of the inning. So all kinds of craziness in that bottom of the 6th that I'm sure we'll continue to get into as this game goes on. But for now, we'll go to the top of the 7th. Merchants down 1-0. So the tenor of this game has changed a little bit as we head to the top of the 7th inning. What else is new? A new pitcher to tell you about for the Crawdads. This time it's going to be the righty Noah Zirkle. Big 6'4", 235 righty out of West Valley Community College. His 8th appearance of the summer. He's gone 7 1/3 innings, and it's been a rough go of it, giving up 13 hits, ERA of 13.5. 11 walks and just 4 strikeouts. Last time out was in San Luis Obispo on the 6th of July. Recorded just 1 out, gave up 5 runs, 3 hits, and 2 walks. So he is trying to right the ship today. Some defensive replacements to tell you about. Ewens is out at first. Cam Taylor, who came in to run for him, will be at first base. We also have a new center fielder. Coming in for Jared Medham is going to be Chris Esquivel. So maybe Medham was the guy who had to get out of here. We'll figure all that out as the game goes on. First pitch of the top of the 7th is a fastball outside to the right fielder, Aiden Tackless.
And you mentioned Zirkle entering has a tough stat line so far this season, entering in a huge situation here in the top of the 7th in a 1-0 ball game. We saw the Merchants behind yesterday 1-0, came all the way back and won that game 7-0.
The 1-0 is sliced out to left field, but it slices too much. It's foul. So good wood from Tackless, but count even at 1-1.
He was just a little bit late on it, took it to the opposite side, and just a tiny bit foul against Zirkle. And you mentioned the ERA in the double digits for Zirkle, but perhaps the bigger concern, opposing hitters hitting .394 against him this summer. Not to mention the 11 walks that he has offered. It's just been very spotty summer, I guess we'll call it, for Noah Zirkle of West Valley College.
Played with fire before that outing in slow, when he officially blew up in that ERA balloon. He had only allowed 6 runs to that point. But it all seemed to catch up to him then. Merchants hoping for more of the same here. 1-1, a nice breaking ball on the outside corner for a strike, brings the count to 1-2. Zirkle will go fastball slider primarily. He'll also mix in a curve and a changeup. We assume he calls that a Zirkle change.
Brilliant.
If he does not, he does now, I bet. Now the 2-strike pitch is grounded to second. Diving play to his left as Ellis gets up and throws, but not in time. It was kind of a slow chopper that Ellis made a great play on the rim of the outfield grass. Was able to dive and get it, but not in time for Tackless at first base. So give Tackless the infield single on some impressive defense there from Ellis, but no matter how you get it, it's a leadoff base runner for the Merchants. Just what they were looking for.
Just some good baseball on both ends. Some impressive work by Ellis to flash the leather and keep that in the infield. And then just credit to the hustle of Tackless, gutting it out and charging down the first base line. Was in there, but not by much.
So now it's O'Sullivan with the runner on first. Takes the first pitch outside. Slider stayed outside.
Good time for O'Sullivan's first hit of the summer. You're needing some momentum after sporting the Crawdads a run on a balk in the last half inning.
O'Sullivan walked his last time up, his first time on base in these 2 games that he's played with Alameda. 1-0 pitch is just outside, so he's missed with the slider outside and now the fastball outside. Now it's 2-0. O'Sullivan flew out in the second before that walk in the 4th inning. Tackless leads off first. Now they check on him. Now throws in the dirt. Great job by Taylor to avoid that from skipping past him into foul territory. Not sure that Crawdads bullpen would have had much to say about that. But in any event, here's the 2-0. That's a nice breaking ball in there for a strike. Started at the front hip of Tackless and came right over the plate. So 2-1 now for Zirkle, a native of Oakland, California. Did not pitch this past spring. So getting his work here in the summer, trying to work out the kinks. That time, check swing, and the first base umpire says that O'Sullivan went around on the breaking ball down low.
Mark Pascale ruling that O'Sullivan just showed a little bit of that stick over the front part of the plate. I disagree, but I'm not the one making the call.
So now 2-2. Long look in from Zirkle. Now he's ready, kicks and fires 2-2. Another breaking ball is chopped foul. He is sticking with that slider to O'Sullivan. Seen one fastball this at bat. We've seen the slider to both sides of the plate.
We've seen Merchants base runners be a lot more hesitant to steal bases in this game so far against the catcher, Justice. It's a staple of this Merchants offense, and it just hasn't been a factor for them today. A large reason why they're still sitting at 0 on the scoreboard, despite out-hitting the Crawdads.
2-2 pitch in the top of the 7th. Another breaking ball that's fouled back. That one stayed inside. O'Sullivan was just able to get a piece of it. So we'll do the 2-2 all over again. Long at bat for O'Sullivan. Really fighting against Zirkle, who again did not pitch this past spring. Threw just 4 1/3 innings the previous spring for West Valley. So the 2-2 is grounded to short. To his right is DeFazio. He picks it up, but he's got a long throw over to first base. It pulls the first baseman Taylor off the bag. So another infield single for Alameda. Evidently a lot of representation here in the stands for these Merchants, as the Merchants get first and second here with nobody out in the top of the 7th.
And off the bat, I thought the only chance they had at an out is had the third baseman liner been able to field that. He had a much better angle towards first base. It just took the shortstop too far away from the play, and had the third baseman been able to snag it, landing or maybe a double play. It wasn't a particularly hard hit ball, but now 2 on with no outs. And I'll once again ask, do you start to think about maybe laying down a bunt? We really haven't seen the Merchants do it all season, but in a 1-0 ball game where you're going to need any run you can get, with Winchell, Dittmer due up. Dittmer's had his struggles with strikeouts, but do you think about trying to lay down a bunt here, move runners over to second and third, knowing you'd have 1 out on the scoreboard, and put all the eggs in the Chase Dittmer or a pinch hitter basket to try and send 1 out into the outfield?
You have been harping on this a bit, Ethan. A bit surprising between the two of us. You're going the old school route and saying, can we get a sack bunt to move the runners over? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong, Ethan. But it is surprising.
I just think against a team that is so strong fielding and an offense that is probably due to wake up for the Crawdads in the later stages of this game, you want to tie this game right now. You want to steal whatever runs you can get, and you don't want to just count on your power hitters to try and keep you in this ball game. You have a guy like Emmett Finney, maybe a guy like Mateo Mendoza off the bench, who have been swinging the bat well in their recent games.
Right now it's the catcher Winchell. After a meeting on the mound, he stands in and now turned to second by the pitcher Zirkle. He'll step off. Not a bad point by you, Ethan. Maybe the counter right now is the struggles that Zirkle has had. Maybe you feel confident that you can get the bat on the ball, but
I don't know if I'd call them struggles though. It's been two relatively medium hit balls that have stayed in the infield for the most part.
First pitch is in there for a strike. I suppose the struggles on the season more.
Yeah,
is what I meant. Maybe against Storjahan or Saeed or Coupland. Maybe a little more confidence with this man on the mound. We'll see. Winchell appears to be swinging away. Here's the 0-1, and that one is grounded foul down the third base side. So
take away the bunt suggestion now. But I mean, this is just, we haven't played in a game like this yet, Kyle. A 1-0 late stage game where it's feeling like a chess game, and we're gonna really see the manager's decisions have a large impact on the later end of this game, from pitching decisions to at-bat decisions and everything.
Tackless off second. Winchell, a throwback to second, excuse me, and Tackless is safe there, dancing a little too far off. I was getting ready to say Tackless off second, O'Sullivan off first, and we almost had Tackless erased there on another back pick from Justice.
That was a gutsy throw by Justice, though. If that got passed into the outfield, the runners are advancing, and you're giving them the effect of a bunt without even giving up an out.
So now here's the 1-2 to Winchell. This one is popped up foul near us, back out of play. So he stays alive. Really see these hitters trying to fight to make contact with that slider. It's been a bevy of sliders from Zirkle to these right-handed batters. Long at bat for O'Sullivan. Now we get another 1-2 to Winchell. Here's the pitch. Fastball this time is lined out into center field in his Esquivel, but that's going to drop. Runners had to hold. They'll each move up 90 feet. It was not hit as hard as I thought off the bat. A bit of a blooper toward right center field. Esquivel got a good read on it, but he just couldn't quite corral it. So infield single, bloop single, and the bases loaded for Alameda and Chase Dittmer.
What an impressive at-bat from Winchell, who fell behind 0-2, fouled off a few pitches, took a few balls, and then got just enough of that one to poke it out into the outfield. And you mentioned 3 consecutive singles, and this is the best opportunity the Merchants have had all ball game. And as a result, you're seeing the corner infielders pinched in for a potential play at home, trying to preserve this lead in the late stages of this game if you're Walnut Creek. But Zirkle needs to find his stuff. A strikeout would be so huge here against Dittmer.
First pitch fastball is fouled off to the right side. Dittmer is flown out and he is grounded to second. Long hitless streak for Dittmer. All we need is contact here. Maybe a fly ball to the outfield, something on the infield. Merchants down 1-0 here in the top of the 7th.
A walk would do as well to tie this game with the bases loaded. Dittmer still doesn't have any extra base hits so far this season. That would be the most splendid time to have his first.
No place to put Chase. The 0-1 is popped up to the right side. Donnelly is back in right field. Looks like it's deep enough. Tagging at third is Tackless. He's going to come in and score. Both runners move up from first and second, so great base running by the Merchants to get that sac fly and a run to tie this, and second and third with 1 out here in the top of the 7th.
Chase Dittmer, do your job. That is the mentality for this team. All of these guys fulfilling roles. TC Fairfield saying, we know if all of these guys play to their potential, this is a championship level team. Dittmer not trying to catch too big of a fish there, just going up to the plate, doing his job, sending one deep out into the outfield, probably a little shy of 300 feet, and there was no play at the plate, and we're all tied here.
And the difference today, I think, Ethan, has been the contact. You put the ball in play and good things happen. This Merchants team, I'm sure you have the season stat, has fell victim to so many strikeouts. We saw it yesterday with Joseph Lee, where they struck out, I think, 7 times in the first 3 innings or 4 innings.
Yeah, they strike out just under 10 times a game. That's the 10th in the CCL, which means the 5th most of all teams.
And so now we've got a meeting on the mound and a pitching change. That's going to close the book on Noah Zirkle. He gets 1 out on that sac fly, allows 3 hits and 1 run. And so we'll have a new pitcher to tell you about here in a moment when we come back, all tied up at 1 here in the top of the 7th. So here in the top of the 7th, you'll be shocked, but I have a new pitcher again to tell you about. The Crawdads have gone Wilson, Saeed, Storjahan, Kuplin, Zirkle, and now the righty Cam Krogan in for his 14th appearance on the summer. He has thrown 14 and a third innings, given up 10 hits, a 3.77 ERA. Of note, 5 wild pitches and 4 hit by pitches for Krogan on the season. He comes into a bases loaded situation.
Runners on second and third.
Excuse me, runners on second and third. Thank you for that correction, Ethan. Comes into a situation with a runner on third and the runner on second, so that command will be extra important here with 1 out in the top of the 7th.
It certainly will, but hitters have had a hard time getting a handle on Krogan when he's been able to locate. Just a 189 batting average against Cam Krogan this season. Guy born in Walnut Creek, playing with the hometown club for his summer ball. Last summer was with the Jackson Rockabillies. I love just shouting out these fun team names in summer ball out in the Prospect League.
So the infield in for Walnut Creek. It's the left-handed hitting Angelo Luna up to bat. Whacks the first pitch in the right field for a base hit. 1 run is in, and they're going to hold the runner at third base. Merchants take the lead here in the top of the 7th inning. First pitch swinging as Angelo Luna got a breaking ball and laced it out into right field in front of Donnelly. Just like that, 7 hits now for Alameda in the game, and ahead of the game 2-1.
And Angelo Luna had not been swinging the bat well as of recently, hitting just 167 in his last 5, 208 in his last 10, was 0 for 2 entering that at bat and was hunting that first pitch against the new pitcher. Immediately took it out into right field. Just these players doing their jobs.
Now first pitch swinging is Bollinger. He lifts it fair down the left field line. 1 run is in. Here comes Luna. He's going to hold at third base. Bollinger strides into second base with an opposite field double, and the Merchants are suddenly rolling here in the top of the 7th.
5 hits now in this top of the 7th inning alone, and Jack Bollinger gets his first extra base hit and his first RBI of the summer as Winchell comes in to score. And most impressive to me, Kyle, is that it's been 4 through 9 in the lineup who's been doing it. It's been Nahar, Turner, and Nystrom for so much of the season in recent games who have been providing a surge for this offense, but a lot of the guys who are not blowing you away with the stat totals, Dittmer, Luna, Bollinger, O'Sullivan, who are piling on hits, even Tackless and Winchell, all helping to feed in, and now still runners on second and third with just one out. The Merchants might not be done.
It's a great point by you. You mentioned Nahar. It is Nahar who took the first pitch outside of the zone for ball one. Now he takes the second pitch out of the zone. They say he did not swing. So 2-0 count to Nahar with runners, as you mentioned, Ethan, on second and third. That's Luna over there at third, and that is Bollinger at second. Infield again in for Walnut Creek. Merchants up 3-1. Here's the pitch. Fastball on the outside corner for strike one. Disastrous inning for Walnut Creek and Noah Zirkle and now Cam Krogan. Still just one out in the inning. Here's the 2-1 to Nahar. This one is grounded foul. So now the count is even 2-2. Luna does not have great speed over at third base. You figure anything on the infield, Walnut Creek would want to come home with it. Nahar obviously great speed at the plate. Donnelly is in a few steps in right field. Here's the 2-2. Spoiled by Nahar. Taps it foul.
Good work by Nahar to spoil it, and he's been a guy who's just been mashing against this Crawdads team all summer long, hitting .476, has multi-hit games in all 4 of the games these teams have played against each other with 5 RBIs, looking for a 5th multi-hit game against the Crawdads, has a handful of 3-hit games in that as well.
Hard to retire him via the K. Here's the 2-2. He flips it out into right center field for a base hit. Luna can walk home. Now here comes Bollinger. He scores. A 2-run single for Dominic Nahar, and now the Merchants are pouring it on here. 5 runs in the top of the 7th, and now they lead by a score of 5-1.
This inning has gone 3 straight hits, followed by a sac fly, followed by another 3 straight hits. The Merchants, they just flipped a switch. It was an offense that wasn't as quiet as we had seen in the past few games. They had a handful of hard hit balls. They weren't striking out too much, but a lot of stuff was staying in the infield or bloop singles. But this 7th inning, they just found something against these pitchers, and a bad inning gets even worse for the Crawdads with Nahar's 8th and 9th RBI of the summer and his 11th multi-hit game, and now 5 of those have come against the Crawdads.
Sorry, Ethan. First pitch to Turner goes to the backstop. Nahar goes to second. Now he's around second, and he's going to go all the way to third on a fastball that got by the catcher Justice. Although it looked like the ball went into the dugout, so they may send Nahar back to second base. That may be why Justice was taking his time trying to go back and get it.
Dan Mills trying to plead the case that the speedy Nahar was already at second base by the time the ball entered the dugout, and therefore he should be rewarded an extra base from second, moving him to third, rather than the extra base from first, moving him to second.
The umpires are conferring right now, and they're going to send Nahar back to second. So they'll rule that ball out of play. Nahar will advance to second base. He tried to go to third, but they'll send him back. Coach Fairfield now wants to confer with the home plate umpire. He's arguing what I think you were, Ethan, that he was already at second base. I don't think it's going to turn out his way, though.
God, to think that Nahar singled and then was caught stealing, that was just an inning ago. It feels like that was a lifetime ago since that crazy bottom of the 6th where we had delays and balks, and now this lengthy top of the 7th where the Merchants have plated 5 and might not be done. Still just 1 out and a runner in scoring position for Alameda.
And for Cy Turner. He's ahead in the count 1-0. Here's the pitch. That one's in there to even the count at 1-1. Nahar at second. Still just 1 out here in the top of the 7th.
Cy Turner's really just turned on the offense as of late in the month of July, hitting .280 with a .471 on base percentage and 5 extra base hits.
This one is grounded over to first. The first baseman, Taylor comes over, bobbles it, but is able to recover in time and flip to the pitcher covering for the 2nd out of the inning. Near disaster there again for Walnut Creek, as that pitch was grounded softly. Taylor came over to glove it, dropped it, but fortunately his pitcher was there in time. Nahar moves to third on the fielder's choice.
Now the 9th batter of this inning will come up. The Merchants hitting through the order here in the top of the 7th. What a late game surge for the 2nd straight day.
It's Nystrom who cues one over to first base. Over is Taylor to flip it to his pitcher once more, and again it's in time. So Krogan finally gets out of it. 5 runs on 6 hits for Alameda. They've now got 9 in the game, and now they lead it 5-1. Stretch time here at Monte Vista. We'll be back for the bottom of the second in just a little bit. So we'll take a deep breath as we get set for the bottom of the 7th here. As you mentioned, Ethan, a lot of action the last 2 innings. They felt like their own mini game. That is when all the scoring has come. Merchants lead 5-1, and we have a new pitcher to tell you about. It's the right-hander Armando Murillo. He's making his 5th appearance of the summer. He's thrown 12 2/3 innings, a 2.84 ERA, 6 walks and 6 strikeouts. Coming in with a 4-run lead, trying to be the bridge to get the Merchants to the end of this one with a W.
And credit Dom Crescenzio, who through the last 3 innings gave up the 1 run on a controversial balk call, I guess we'll call it. It was really excellent. The second straight day that the Merchants have been able to get some length from their middle reliever. It was Tobin Cantrell yesterday, Dom Crescenzio today. Both were excellent and have put the Merchants in positions to go out and win ball games. And this would be a huge win at that against the team who currently leads the CCL North Division. And with a win, depending on what Sonoma does, the Merchants could have sole possession of first place.
Excellent pitch to start off from Murillo is strike 1. Now the second pitch is swung on, lifted to shallow left. Out is the shortstop O'Sullivan, and he'll make the catch for the first out. So back to the top of the lineup, and the second baseman Ryan Ellis. It's his 4th time up to bat. He has singled, walked, and struck out. Murillo, not a hard thrower on the mound. Mostly in the 70s, sometimes into the low 80s. He'll offer fastball, changeup, and slider. This time, first pitch swinging, and a funky hop over the third baseman, Luna. It's going to skip into right field. So a base hit for Ryan Ellis. He's on base for the 3rd time today.
Yeah, not much the first baseman Angelo Luna can do about that one. That one just took a wicked hop right over his head and into the outfield. That's just a bad break, and just the 2nd hit for Walnut Creek since the 1st inning. And they'll be remiss if they don't do anything with this one. Now suddenly in a 4-run hole.
And now it's the DH Cam Calvillo up to bat, with Ellis on first. First pitch on the outside corner from Murillo. Like I said, not going to wow you with his velocity. He tries to make up for it with his location. Excellent location on that first pitch.
Went to the slider on the first one.
Here's the 0-1 from Calvillo. This one is lined into center field. Nahar is breaking to his left into right center field now, and he makes the catch.
Kyle, we spend so much time talking about how important Nahar's speed is on the offensive end for this team with stolen bases, but just as important is his speed in center field, where he is just so rangy, able to make those plays. With a lot of other center fielders, that's a bloop single out into right center field, but Nahar, who got a great first step on it, just immediately hunting that ball down and is under it with some time to spare. Just so impressive as a ranging center fielder.
And that first step is where I was going to go with that, Ethan. A lot of players have speed, but that doesn't mean they can all play center field. Nahar got a great jump off that one, and he made it to the spot before the right fielder tackless. Can cover a lot of ground out there. So Ellis holds it first. It's going to be the number 3 hitter, Joey Donnelly.
The league leader on average that thus far the Merchants have held to an 0 for 3 stat line, and now he's just 1 for 12 against Alameda this summer.
I'd like to see that continue here.
One of the league's brightest has been dimmed against the Merchants.
Good work by you there. First pitch, swing and a miss to Donnelly. Fastball got by him. Donnelly, as you mentioned, he's hitless. Grounded into a fielder's choice, flied out to right, and then grounded to second. I often set things up by saying power versus location and finesse here. Here's the 0-1 from Murillo, stays outside to even the count. Donnelly was 1 for 4 in the Crawdads game yesterday. He walked and struck out 2 times, did score 2 runs. As Ethan has recounted, a stalwart in the middle of this lineup. Murillo trying to hold him down with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. 1-1 is down in the dirt. Easy take for Donnelly. But now they count 2-1. A conspicuous silence now coming from that bullpen and dugout from Walnut Creek, which was puffing their chest out a little bit earlier. They've been shell-shocked by that 5-run top of the 5th. Here's the 2-1. That dots the outside corner for strike 2. Third behind me, good pitch. They are right. Fastball dotted on that outside corner. Murillo coming as advertised so far in the bottom of the 7th. 2-2 count, 2 outs. The second baseman Ellis leads off first. And now they check on him. Infield straight up, Nahar a step towards right center. Here's the 2-2. That one stays outside. Now 3-2. Donnelly has walked 13 times in 93 plate appearances. As I mentioned earlier this game, an on-base up over 500. Murillo trying to retire him here. Ellis will be off with the pitch. Here's the 3-2, and it is swung on, lifted into right field, and it's going to land in front of Tackless for a base hit. Here's the throw to third, and it is in time, and he is out at third base.
Aiden Tackless with a picture-perfect throw to hose down Ellis, who is rounding second. And usually you don't even think twice about heading to third, but the arm of Tackless erasing a crucial 2-out hit would have put a runner in scoring position. Wow, what a throw. I am floored.
I was surprised that Ellis was going to third, and Tackless confirmed why. Just as you said, a hose, a seed from right field to the third baseman Dittmer well in time. We've got some jawing between these two teams. Ellis took exception maybe with the celebration. But no matter how the Crawdads feel, we're going to go to the top of the 8th, and it's still going to be the Merchants leading by a score of 5-1. We'll be right back.
For the Merchants, right fielder number 36, Aiden Tackless.
So we'll lead off the 8th, the top of the 8th, the same way we led off the top of the 7th with Aiden Tackless. The Merchants sent 9 batters up to the plate their last time up and scored 5 runs. That's been the difference in this one. 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors for Alameda. 1 run, 5 hits, and 1 error, and a whole lot of hurt feelings for the Crawdads. It's Cam Krogan back out, first time in a few innings that a pitcher comes back out for Walnut Creek. The first pitch stays inside for ball 1.
And in between innings, we saw some jawing between these two sides. No love lost between these ball clubs. It'll certainly make it interesting when these two teams face off 4 times in the last week of the season.
Tackless grounds 1 to short. Picked up there by DeFazio and flips to first for the first out of the inning. We begin this one much more quietly. At top of the 7th, it went infield single, bloop single, then sac fly, then RBI single, RBI single, RBI single. Just an onslaught from Alameda, spraying the ball everywhere. Tackless grounds out to short. Now it is the shortstop, Brendan O'Sullivan, up for his 4th time.
Kyle, and I can't help but feel like the Merchants needed to play in a game like this against a great team where your pitching staff shows up and your offense starts playing with some swagger, some confidence. I don't mind to hear the team get a little chippy and talk a little bit. They're playing with confidence, and it goes to show you how much can change in a few days, where a few days ago, Merchants only had a half-game lead on a playoff spot, and it felt like they were in a tail slide about to lose their playoff positioning. With a win today, if they're able to hold on to this lead, they'll be in first place once again.
O'Sullivan now behind in the count, 0-2. Krogan getting ahead of him here. A great call by you. All these games are going to be important. You figure a lot of them are going to be tight. These teams clustered together atop the CCL North Division. We haven't seen Walnut Creek in a while. We will see them a lot in the home stretch. The 0-2 is popped up just behind the infield. More action for the shortstop. DeFazio comes over and makes the 2nd out of the inning.
You mentioned those teams all tied up at the top of the standings, if scores hold, which includes the San Luis Obispo Blues leading the Seagulls 5-0 right now, and this score holds as well. Obviously, it pens the Sonoma game, which is just starting right now, but 4 teams would be separated by a game and a half. Playing for 3 spots would certainly be tight down the back stretch of this season with about 10 games to go left this season.
So that pitch, the first pitch of the at-bat to Winchell is inside. He tried to get out of the way of it, and the first base umpire said that Winchell swung. It didn't appear that he came close, really. But 0-1 to Riley. Popped out a couple times. He also had a bloop single last inning to load the bases. Takes the 0-1, fastball for a strike. And now Winchell behind 0-2. Much better inning so far for Cam Krogan. Maybe not coincidentally, first pitcher in a while to come out for a 2nd inning. As I mentioned, 0-2 dotted on the outside corner. Strike 3 to Winchell. 1-2-3, go the Merchants. Speed to the bottom of the 8th now. Merchants still holding on to that 4-run lead.
Yeah.
Back live for the bottom of the 8th inning as Armando Murillo is out for his 2nd inning of work. Finishes his final warm-up pitch. That's a sweet hug from a third baseman. That is still Dittmer over there. Some encouragement for Murillo. He's set to face the pinch hitter Chris Esquivel, I should say.
Chris Esquivel.
The hitter Chris Esquivel, who came in for Medham a couple innings ago. Now his first turn today. Takes the first pitch outside from Murillo for ball 1.
Murillo wasn't at his sharpest last inning. Gave up 2 hits. Benefited from a beautiful throw by Tackless to get Ellis out on the base paths. We see Zane Bolts warming up, potential 9th inning guy for the Merchants. We haven't seen him in a while. Now could be a good game to use him.
Murillo behind 0-2 now. And here's the 2-0. That one fouled straight back in front of us. Brings the count to 2-1. Now we reset with the 2-1 from Murillo. Breaking ball dots the outside corner to even the count at 2-2.
In the last
23.
23.
Esquivel just 71 plate appearances so far this summer, heading into his 21st game. He's batting at 208. Right now 2-2 against Murillo. Here it's the pitch, and it is line foul down the left field line out of play.
Esquivel got a lot of that one, but was just a bit out in front of it, and that can be common against a low-velocity pitcher like Murillo. You're just waiting on it, and still too early that time for Esquivel. Just mentioned the stat, talking with Dan Mills. This Merchants pitching staff, dating back to the 3rd inning of Wednesday's game, has given up just 2 runs in the last 23 innings of work. One of those have been on a questionable balk. Just an incredible turnaround from this pitching staff in recent days.
Great point by you, Ethan, as the 2-2 is fouled off to the right this time out of play.
Big for Murillo to get this lead runner in so many of those big chunk innings for the opposition, like that 8-run one against Menlo Park. It's been because the lead runner reaches.
Swing and a foul tip. Winchell will complete the strikeout with the throw over to first base. Murillo got Esquivel out in front of a slider that time for the strikeout.
Right as I would say, how important it is to get the first batter of the inning. A beautiful breaking ball by Murillo. Got Esquivel swinging out of his shoes, and the throw with plenty of time for the catcher for the first out of the inning. And now Crawdads just 5 outs left to play with in a 4-run hole.
So now it's the first at-bat for Cam Taylor, left-handed hitter. Takes the first pitch down low for ball 1. He, of course, came in for John Ewens back in the 6th inning. That nasty hit by pitch. Again, prayers up for John. We hope he's okay. This pitch is smacked into center field, but Nahar is there. A few steps to his left in time to make the catch for out number 2.
2 strikeouts.
So that'll bring up the catcher, Zach Justice. Justice is fourth time up. He has flown out twice to right field, and he is singled to right field.
The former #1 ranked catcher in the state of Oregon, according to Perfect Game in the class of 2024.
See why with the work we've seen from him behind the plate today. Takes the first pitch from Murillo in there.
To a game in Los Angeles to talk to him face to face, and he still said no. Watched Oregon play USC.
Now he awaits the 0-1 from Armando. This one is grounded foul down the third base side. As I mentioned earlier, Justice entering this game hitting just 150 on the summer. He's got 4 plate appearances this spring at the University of Oregon. I'm surprised Ethan hasn't gotten to this one yet. Spent the 2024 summer with the Kenosha Kingfish.
Kenosha's right near me in Illinois, but I thought where you were going with that was going to say that I was going to mention Oregon is Big Ten country, which it is. But yeah, Kenosha also, that's my neck of the woods too.
Getting that Ethan single bingo card filled out. Here's the 1-2 from Murillo. Pitch off the outside corner to even the count at 2-2.
If we have any listeners who do play Ethan Siegel bingo, I would like you to send me a picture of your board and let me know what else is on that. I'll try and help you win the game.
I can whip something up for you, Ethan. Here's the 2-2 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th from Armando Murillo. It's on its way, and that one is lined down the left field line, but Dittmer is there in time, ranging to his right with a diving play into foul territory for the third out of the inning.
We've seen some amazing defensive plays in this game from O'Sullivan, from Cy Turner. Now Dittmer saying, I want to turn, diving into foul territory to snag that one. Had to contend with the third base umpire who was in his way as well, backhanding it and snagging it for the third out of the inning. Everything in these late stages of the game is coming at Merchants, much like yesterday's contest. It's 5-1 as we head into the ninth.
Top of the ninth, 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors for Alameda. 1 run, 5 hits, and 1 error for the Crawdads, who will bring in a new pitcher here in the top of the ninth. It's the lefty Braden Barnes. He's finished 9 games already this summer for the Crawdads, usually under better circumstances for them than this. 15 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 15 hits, a 4.02 ERA. And I'm going to have to confirm with you that this is correct, Ethan. 29 strikeouts?
29 strikeouts, fourth best in the CCL, and a 16.7 strikeouts per 9 innings. Ludicrous stuff. He's got fastball, slider, changeup, and that slider, that's the strikeout pitch for Braden Barnes when he goes away from that high heat.
Ludicrous stuff. He will roll out to the third baseman, Chase Dittmer,
who just had some ludicrous stuff rolling out to make a play in the foul side of third base just a half inning ago.
He'll try to stand up against Barnes. He takes the first pitch down low for a ball.
And I have to say, this has just been one of the most complete performances of the summer for the Merchants when you consider who they're playing against, the team who currently leads the North Division. That pitch
is popped up by Dittmer on the infield. Looks like that was the third baseman coming all the way over to call off the first baseman, Cam Taylor, over on the first base side to record the out. Taylor's got his arms out like, what's going on?
Some potential infighting for the Crawdads. Seems good-natured, but Cam Taylor saying, man, that was my ball.
That looked like Leininger, who came all the way over from the third base side.
I'd say it's anyone's ball but Leininger, if I'm being honest. Shortstop, second base, first base, maybe even the pitcher have a right to call that ball, but Leininger wanted to put out for himself. But I was saying, just an impressive performance from the Merchants. Obviously, still have to get 3 more outs in the 9th inning to put this one away. But just when you consider who it's against, 0 errors. They've really woken up. 9 hits, 5 runs, and then holding the league-leading offense to just 5 hits and 1 run.
Right now, it's the left-handed hitting Angelo Luna. Took the first pitch for a strike. Now the second pitch is outside to even the count. Luna's 4th at bat. He is grounded out, flown out, and he had an RBI single in that 5-run 7th inning. This time a big swing and a miss at a pitch in the dirt. Left-on-left matchup for Luna. Good to see him get in the hit column today. Been struggling lately. Now he's got the difficult Braden Barnes in a 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. Spoils it. Fouls it off to the backstop.
Nice job by Luna to just barely get enough of the bat on that ball to keep the at-bat alive and poke it off the backstop.
Barnes primarily fastball, slider, and changeup. That fastball averaging 90 miles an hour. Here is the 1-2. Another fastball spoiled by Luna. So the count will hold with one out here in the top of the ninth.
And early in this game, we saw Merchants hitters swing at everything in the first two pitches, and it led to a lot of really quick outs. New pitchers have since come into the game, and the Merchants have been a lot more patient at the plate, waiting for their pitch, and it's a big reason. We saw 6 hits an inning ago, just hunting and waiting for your pitch. Luna doing a good job to spoil pitches.
This one is grounded to third. This time the play is for Leininger. He fires over to first base for the second out of the inning. It's a nasty breaking ball that looked like Luna kind of froze at and then just swatted at down the third base line. Honestly impressive to make contact with that pitch, but 2 outs now. That'll bring up Jack Bollinger.
He most recently had his first extra base hit, first RBI of the season with that double in the 5-run outpouring.
Good note. I believe I called that a single earlier. First pitch is a breaking ball on the outside corner to Bollinger. He struck out, grounded out, and then had that big RBI double. Behind 0-1 to Barnes, here's the pitch, grounded foul down the right field side.
Bollinger says in his notes, his favorite athlete, the bowler, Pete Weber, most famously the "who do you think you are, I am" guy. And I think Bollinger had himself that type of moment in a game that's been quite talkative between these two sides with that RBI double in his last plate appearance.
Really putting the bowl in Bollinger. Here's the 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Fastball blew it by Bollinger for strike 3. So it looks like it's going to be the righty Zane Bolts coming in to try to shut this one down in the bottom of the ninth. We'll tell you all about it in just a moment. It is indeed the big righty Zane Bolts, who just fired his final warm-up pitch, who's on to close this one out. 6'4", 205 is Zane Bolts. I made the remark to you, Ethan, earlier this summer that he's got the name of a closer. He walks like a closer, he talks like a closer, and he will try to finish this one for Alameda.
Well, you know what they say, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it's probably a duck, and that's the case for Zane Bolts with being a closer, and he's been excellent so far this season, especially in those strikeout totals. 14 strikeouts to 5 walks this season.
First pitch is cued over to third base. Easy play for Dittmer. He'll fire to first. For the first out of the inning, that was the third baseman, Riley Leininger, who swung at the first pitch but is quickly retired for out number 1. So that'll bring up the shortstop, Nico DeFazio. 0 for today. Struck out, grounded out, and grounded out again. 7th appearance for Bolts, 6 1/3 innings pitched, just 2 hits given up on the year and just 2 earned runs given up as well. Here's the first pitch, nice breaking ball, drops in there for a strike.
That was the Euro slider, as Bolts calls it, and perfectly layered in to get DeFazio taking it for strike 1.
There's a lot of spin on that thing. There it is again. Swing and a miss from DeFazio for strike 2.
It's a beautiful pitch, and DeFazio, a guy who stat line profiles really well. What he did this past season at Chabot College, 37 RBI, hit 329, more extra base hits than strikeouts, but just hasn't been able to show that off today.
Here's the 0-2 from Baltz. Another breaking ball, this time grounded to short, and another funky hop, this time over the shortstop O'Sullivan. He was coming in on that ball. It was a routine play, but at the last second, big hop over his head, and that's going to allow DeFazio to get to first base safely.
2 of the 6 Crawdad hits in this game have come from just absolutely filthy, detestable hops in the infield at the lip of that grass and dirt. That time, just making O'Sullivan look like a fool with no fault of his own. That one just took a ridiculous hop 4 or 5 feet in the air to the last moment.
So Baltz will try to reset against the left fielder Casey Levitt McGee. First pitch is down low for ball 1. Levitt McGee also hitless so far today,
Now 0 for his last 13.
Ground out and 2 flyouts. Awaits the 1-0 from Baltz. Swings and fouls it back to even the count. DeFazio, not much of a stolen baseman. You figure they're down 5-1. Don't want to force the issue anyway. As Baltz peers in with the sign, now he gets it and delivers the 1-1. This one is fouled back to the left. Baltz ahead 1-2. Here in the top of the 9th, Merchants up 5-1. All those runs came in the top of the 7th inning. Now it's Zane Baltz on to close it down. The left-handed hitting Casey Levitt McGee stands in with this 1-2 count. Baltz is ready at the belt. Now he turns and fires. This pitch stays outside. The count is even at 2-2.
That's a heck of a pitch to throw with 2 strikes, and credit to Levitt McGee for laying off of it. I did think it was just a touch outside, but
Baltz steps off. Some room on the right side as the first baseman Luna holds DeFazio at first. Here's the 2-2. That one stays outside, and now it's 3-2. And we're back to the top of the order after this with Ryan Ellis. Baltz playing with a little bit of fire, just a 4-run lead. 3-2, 1 out, top 9 here. Checks the runner at first. Now he's ready with the 3-2. Runner goes, and is swung on and hit to second base. Ranging far to his left is Turner. He picks it up there and fires to first for the second out of the inning. That was almost a dangerous first and third 1-out situation. That ball slowly hit to the right side, and Turner, we saw him range to his right with an impressive play earlier in this game. This time to his left, down to one knee, flips it to first to get the second out of the inning.
yes, the Merchants pitching staff has been excellent in this game, but credit to this defense, which has just been erasing base runners left and right in this ball game. Cy Turner just was able to pounce on that one and clobber it. It was nearly into the outfield and able to grab another out. The runner advances over to second, but now the Crawdads down to their final out.
The range from Nahar in center, the arm from Tackless in right. The impressive play from Dittmer at third. The incredible actions by Turner at second all add up to this two-out situation in the top of the ninth with the Merchants up 5-1. The first pitch in to Ryan Ellis is down low for a ball. This is the fifth time up for Ellis. He's been on base 3 times today. He's also struck out. The runner at second is DeFazio. Now Baltz is ready with the 1-0. Turns and fires. That fastball gets the outside corner, strike one. You saw velocity from Braden Barnes in the top of this inning. It's more velocity from Zane Baltz in the bottom of this inning. Averaging high 80s with that fastball. And that wipeout slider, as you mentioned, Ethan. Here's the 1-1. This one is grounded on the infield. First baseman Luna will get over and get it. He'll toss to Baltz over at first base. And that is the way that this ball game will end. An explosion in the top of the 7th inning after a bit of a verbal explosion between the umpires and Walnut Creek, and then Walnut Creek and Alameda, and then Walnut Creek and Walnut Creek. But in the end, Ethan, it adds up to a nice 5-1 win for Alameda.
Took a very similar route to the win yesterday, where the Merchants were behind 1-0 to Menlo Park and then ended up winning that with a late game explosion 7-1. Similar story today, behind 1-0, 5-run 7th inning, and win this one 5-1 and reclaim first in the North. As we check scores around, Sonoma currently up 8-0 in the first inning on Menlo Park. They're tied if they're able to win that game with the Merchants, which would set up tomorrow's game to be another game where the winner would get sole possession of first place. And in the past 3 days, we've seen first place go from the Stompers to the Crawdads, now to the Merchants. These teams just playing tag with first place, and 4 teams separated by a game and a half at the top of the standings. We're in for a really exciting last few weeks of the season, but what a performance. What a consecutive days of performances from this Merchants team. Really a get-right 2 days. Really impressive stuff. A combined score of 12-2, and the pitching staff has really led the way for this team.
Things heating up off the field and now on the field for the Merchants. We'll be back home at Pat Bale Field tomorrow. We will see those Sonoma Stompers, and we're sure that it's going to be another good one, Ethan. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. For Ethan Siegel, I'm Kyle Floyd, signing off of the Merchants Radio Network.